right over this intersection. All right, there we go. So right here you got the heavy rain, but then here you still have the rotation. It looks a little bit messier at the moment, which is good, but that rotation is just back towards the south and west. This is going to come very close to this camera, so as it does, it might get kind of wonky as we're trying to look at it right now. But this is 271. You got the Choctaw Casino. You know, the state line with Oklahoma, you're just now crossing it as you're headed into Bacola. The heavy rain now falling, and we're going to keep our eye on this supercell thunderstorm that continues to drop some hail. Let's go ahead and look at the hail threats, because you may not have the rotation come to you necessarily, but that hail threat may come in here very shortly. This is a current look at some of the hail sizes. Looks like the hail's starting to go up too. We're now up to about 2.5 inch size hail. New tornado warning being issued right now with the National Weather Service. Just kind of cutting it off on the backside, because now the rotation's pretty much cleared Spiro. Now it's Bacola. Big pocket of hail though. So whether or not you're getting the rotation, we're getting some hail in northern Leflore County. This hail is coming right towards the south side of Fort Smith. Grand Avenue southbound, coming right into us. Arcoma, the hail is right just on our doorstep. This is coming right towards the Fort Chaffee area, Central City, Barling. Going to clip kind of the entryway to Fort Chaffee, the north side of the base. We're going to be clipped with some of this hail too. We may be okay in Van Buren with this hail if this thing continues to track just south of Van Buren. Van Buren's here. So if this thing tracks just south, we may be okay. We're going to watch that. Michelle, you got an update?
You can really see it on the velocity.
Let's go ahead and bring that up right here.
See that little?
There it is right there. That's what Michelle was talking about. And that's the rotation that we see on that camera right now too. Very tight rotation, just north and east of Spiro. We can kind of turn off the colors for a second. It's right here where this purple color is. That's the rotation. If we zoom in a little bit closer, let's take a look at this.
And for reference, 2.5 inches of hail, that's tennis ball size.
That's large hail. I mean, we're talking large, damaging hail. And the problem is, as you guys know, as you're coming in the south side of Fort Smith, and they've got new dealerships that have popped up, but we have all these dealerships right here on the south side of Fort Smith. That could cause some damage. This is just coming out of Spiro. And here's that T intersection where they kind of redid it a couple years ago. As you go north of Bacola, you pass the high school, and where that new Casey's is, you've got a gas station, kind of the ballpark gas station, the Sonic right there. This is coming right towards that intersection there on the north side of Bacola, and then eventually just falling right into the Fort Smith area. So there's the rotation, and we've got hail right behind it, or actually right in front of it, rather. Here's that hail. In fact, the hail continues to go up right now. If our digital teams right now if we could push an alert talking about the hail about to come into Fort Smith and rotation, this hail is growing big time. 2.5 size inches, and that's about the diameter. I mean, these are large hailstones now coming in to the south side of Fort Smith, Arcoma. Right there as you're crossing, about the Choctaw Casino. We'll go ahead and go back to this Bacola iCam. Michelle, is this all the way zoomed out maybe?
Let me zoom it out a little more.
Okay. Because this thing's coming right towards the camera.
And that's how far it goes.
Okay. Tilt just a little bit back towards the west for a second, if you may. All right. So there's that rotation. See the overall spin. This cloud's kind of just wrapping into it, but it's just this spiral. So we're going to watch this rotation, but we're going to keep this up because this is where that tornado would form, but we have very tight rotation. Northern Leflore County, this is just north of Spiro. This is coming right on 271. Folks headed west back towards Poto and Bacola, it's just right in front of you as you're coming in. Hail coming into Fort Smith, lots of heavy rain, lightning too. But the rotations here on the back southwest side, and you can really see that kind of just lowering overall. The whole thunderstorm's back off just higher in the sky, but this is that rotation right now, that wall cloud, and these clouds are just being sucked in, and as they do, they just start to rapidly rotate right in there. Let's do a wide view real quick, and then we'll go right back to this warning. We've got a tornado watch for the entire river valley tonight. This is probably not going to be the only storm that we have this evening. As storms just continue to fire up in some of the clear air. We start to break up the clouds just a little bit earlier today. I mean, some of us are near the 80-degree mark. We've really warmed things up. Northwest Arkansas, see how these storms kind of fall apart? We've had more clouds. We are cooler. So right now, the tornado watch just includes the Bobby Hopper Tunnel south, so the southern fringes of the Boston Mountains, south all the way to the Ouachitas. This is the primary area to watch for supercell thunderstorms, and that's what we've got. Northwest Arkansas, we are good, to be honest, at the moment. Yeah, we've got some rain near Greenland and West Fork, but so far we're so good. We've got a couple pop-ups near Paris and Mount Magazine. Those are just drifting off towards the east. We're going to keep our eyes back off west because some of these little green specks may start to grow over time as they start to enlarge and then press eastbound. They may start to grow up into bigger storms, but right now the biggest, the heftiest storm is coming right into Fort Smith.
Hey, Matt, people are worried about Van Buren. Can you say if it's heading their way or not?
Yeah, it looks like the rotation's probably going to be just south. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so I know it looks like a mess. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'm going to do it right now. A couple different parts of this storm. Here's the rotation. You can see that hook too. Here's that rotation. There's where the possible tornado could try to form. At this moment, it has not. We're going to continue to watch that Pocola ICAM. The camera's right here, and we've got the rotation right here, so it's just next to us. All this red is showing you the heavy rain, lightning, and the hail core that is now coming into Fort Smith. That hail is coming right into the south side of Fort Smith. Van Buren, we're here. We are included in that tornado warning, but I think most of the hail should stay south. Most of the hail is going to stay south of the Arkansas River for a while. But it includes basically downtown Fort Smith, south to Wheeler, all the way to Fianna Hills, and then right towards 540 where the dealerships are, and then towards Phoenix Avenue is where we're going to be getting some of this hail. Large hail coming into the south side of Fort Smith. I'd say you only have 2 or 3 more minutes before the hail probably arrives in your neighborhood. If that's enough time to get it in the garage, your vehicle in the garage or anything like that, any kind of property that you have outside, if you can pull it in for a second. But you don't want to wait too long because that rotation is also coming in on the backside as well. But Van Buren, great question. I think we're going to be okay at the moment. We are in that tornado warning. But the box may be a little bit large. All right, we got also a live look. Our chief photographer, just south on Highway 45. This is just south of Bonanza. He is looking right at that wall cloud, and as those storms are just funneling right in, that warm air is funneling right in at this moment. Very scary looking clouds, but that's where the rotation is right now. That rotation is in northeastern Leflore County. Poto, we don't have to worry about it. Spiro, I think we're good. This is just on the north side of Pocola, headed into Fort Smith, right towards downtown Fort Smith and the south side of Fort Smith. There's that rotation. Great shot there. He's going to keep that up. Let's go ahead and pull back the weather system graphics. I want to show you the Pocola ICAM once again, if I can pull that up. Michelle, are you able to switch that for a second? I think there's rain coming into Fort Smith. It just changed it on the Mac system. I think it's ICAM 2. All right, there you go. There's that camera. Let's go ahead and switch this. There's that wall cloud. That's exactly what we've been watching. Let's go ahead and maybe tilt it just towards the right, just a touch. We'll kind of get rid of some of this clear air as we're trying to watch this. But there's the back southwest side of this storm. Just this thing, it looks massive because it's right next to the camera, but this is where the storm is rotating. As of now, you can see the clouds too, just being sucked in. And then notice right here on the back edge, notice how it's spinning right kind of into the screen. There's that rotation right in there. So as long as we don't form a funnel or drop anything, it's scarier than it looks at the moment, but man, those clouds are racing too. This thing is trying to suck any of the warm air that we've gotten today and just bring it right in. I'm going to pull up hail because that's also a huge threat that's now coming into south side of Fort Smith. It's also trending a little bit farther south. So this is right over 271. Log in here. Here's Fort Smith. This hail core is kind of trending a little bit farther towards Fort Chaffee and Barling right now on the leading edge of this storm as it's just plowing right through into Fort Smith. Let's see. Reissuing that tornado warning. That's why you see that blinking right now. But you need to be in your safe spot in Fort Smith, in Barling, in Dora, Moffett. You guys are now good, and most of us in Sequoia County, other than Moffett, we're kind of on the edge of things.
Hey, Matt.
Roland and Muldrow, we are now in the clear. Michelle?
Yeah, there's a spotter reporter, who's on the National Weather Service chat, reporting that there is a tornado on the ground. So.
Can we go ahead and zoom that out?
And it's by Fort Chaffee.
Can we go ahead and zoom that camera out? Let's go ahead and pull that up. Fort Coffee.
Fort Coffee.
Let's go ahead and let me move this camera for a second. This is the storm right now. Fort Coffee's in this direction. It's starting to get, now we're starting to get rain wraps, so we're not able to see anymore. But we do have a report of a possible tornado on the ground towards Fort Coffee. I think the rain might be starting to fold in front of it too. But it's coming right towards the camera, so now it's going to be hard to see because we've got rain wrapping around it. But once again, we have a report of a tornado there in the bottoms by the Arkansas River, just north of Fort Coffee. This rotation continues to head right into Fort Smith. So it's hard to see, but whether that report is true or not, we need to take it seriously as if it may be. We have a possible tornado coming in to the south side of Fort Smith. This is back to the radar. I'm going to go ahead and turn back on the rotation tracker. Looks a little messy right now. Let me turn on velocity again. All right, it's a little bit messy, but we've got this rotation coming in the south side of Fort Smith, just south of Arcoma. Hail also reporting now on the south side of Fort Smith, coming right into Wheeler Avenue, Township, right over Grand, Rogers Avenue, back towards the south and west, Phoenix Avenue, where you've got the overlook there with that shopping complex. That's where we have the hail coming into right now. If you guys have any kind of pictures of the hail, you can go ahead on the 5 News app, you submit those to us, and we'll send those off to the National Weather Service as well. But we've got rotation, and we've got hail coming into Fort Smith. Watching from the National Weather Service. We've got a lot of spin in the atmosphere as this potential for a tornado is coming into the south side of the Fort Smith area. I'll turn on radar again for us. We got a quick video. I want to show this, what this storm has been doing. Sometimes it's good to see this storm, what it's done to other folks, and as we try to bring it in. This video is coming in from Spiro. This was early. This is just moments ago. You've got some rotation. You can kind of see a lowering there a little bit. And you hear sometimes that hail in the background on parts of this video. But there's some of that rotation right now. It's a little bit messy. You've got a lot of humid air, and so some extra clouds form, and so that makes it a little bit hard to see where a possible tornado would be. But this is coming in from Haley Baxter. This is Sunset Corner and Spiro. This is where we had that rotation a little bit earlier, and now this rotation is coming into the south side of Fort Smith. Let's go ahead and bring up Pensacola again, the camera in Pensacola. Oh, this is a picture. This is a picture. Look how large that hailstone is. So they've got about 2.5 inch sized hail coming into Pensacola. This is coming right into Fort Smith right now. Let me show you where that hail is at the moment. It looks like the latest scan, the hail has gone down a little bit in size, but we still have some of that hail. Let's go ahead and bring up Max 1. Here's that hail core coming into the south side of Fort Smith. We also have a rotation with this. It would be more on the west side of this. Earlier we had that report that they were seeing that funnel, maybe a possible tornado reaching the ground. It's very hard to tell because it's so humid and sometimes it messes with some of the extra clouds around that. But we do have a possible tornado in this area coming in from northern Leflore County, trying to cross the state line into Sebastian County. That's why we have this tornado warning. But right now, the most of that hail is anywhere from the Choctaw Casino is about here. And then once you head north and east, you head towards US 71, where you cross US 71. Here's US 71. We've got hail coming in. You got the Briarwood Apartments. You've got, there's that Casey's, Jenny Lynn Road, where you've got the Casey's and the Harps right here. We've got hail coming in for you guys. Most of the hail kind of stops, though, as you get towards about Bowling World and towards about Crane Hyundai, I think about right there. You're just north of Ream, the headquarters there. And then as you're headed on 0th Street north into downtown, we're kind of being cut off close by about Phoenix Avenue. So we got Phoenix Avenue, we've got 0 Street. We're kind of being cut off there on the northern end. So downtown Fort Smith, it doesn't look like we're getting as much of the hail, but it's here on the south side of Fort Smith where we have some of this hail that's falling right now. Let's go ahead and bring up our chief photographer, Luke. He's been watching the storm as we have that rotation. It also gets very messy as you get so close to the radar site. This is a live look at that wall cloud. I wonder if he's looking just from the south and east. He's looking right there. He's kind of moving the camera so that we can see. But we've had reports of a funnel cloud. We had a report that a tornado was briefly on the ground. It's hard to tell. He's readjusting. I think he's probably going to move his vehicle here in a second, make sure he's in a safe spot. But as we get close to, if we can bring up the green wall here in a moment, as we get close to the radar site, things do get very messy. But this tornado, possible tornado, is coming into the south side of Fort Smith. This is live look in Rogers. You can actually see some of the hail bouncing here. Those aren't just large raindrops. Those are hailstones that are now falling on the south side of Fort Smith. This is Rogers Avenue. So anywhere from Rogers Avenue, where you're hitting 540, southbound to Phoenix Avenue, right over the Fort Smith Airport, right over the Air National Guard Station, south into Jenny Lind Road, Vienna Hills. There's a large pocket of hail. This is hitting a lot of folks, and this rotation continues to come in right towards the radar. To be honest, we're kind of going blind now for a minute. As this rotation comes into the south side, this circle right here, that's where the radar is. It has a very hard time kind of looking at things within 2 or 3 miles. Unfortunately, that rotation is coming right towards kind of the radar. This is, you guys might have seen that radar. As you're looking from 540 and you're looking towards the airport, they're off in the distance, kind of in the hills. You see that radar? That's that Fort Smith radar that's trying to give us the best information right now. But as this rotation comes in, it's very difficult to see. We may be able to, Michelle, I'm going to pull up that Picola camera. Let's bring in Luke. He's been, there it is. Guys, this is hard to see. Very dark condition. These clouds are so thick, it gets so dark underneath these. But there's that wall cloud. There on the left-hand side, you see that line of clouds just following right in and rotating. Michelle, do you see anything? You might have a better view of this.
I'm looking on velocity on the radar scope, and it's literally going over the radar, so it's
right over the radar.
really hard to tell.
So we're blind, but Luke, our chief photographer, he is right there on this storm. He's going to stay. Let's stay on this, guys. It's hard to tell off in the distance, but there could easily be a funnel cloud at any time on this. I'm trying to look. You see that ridge there in the distance. As long as we can continue to see that ridge, we may be okay. But you've got to act as if there is a possible tornado on the ground in northwestern Sebastian County. A lot of this is going to be just outside. This thing is kind of turning south and right. So this may be avoiding some of the, the very dense portions of the metro of Fort Smith. This is probably coming closer towards Jenny Lind Road and Vienna Hills and back and south on US 71 as you're coming outside of Fort Smith. Once you pass, there's the American Freight, there's Pick and Tow, and the neighborhood Walmart as you're headed south and east as you're trying to get just outside of Fort Smith on US 71 as you're headed towards White Bluff. But there on the southeast side of Fort Smith, we do have that potential rotation. But there's that camera coming in from Drive 5. I think it may have paused. I think he might have lost reception there. Let's go ahead and bring back the radar. This is actually live look in Picola. I'm going to go ahead and move our camera here. So you already cleared the skies on the back side. All right, so we're moving the camera. Now we're kind of on the backside. I zoomed in on accident. There we go. Okay, so we're looking on the backside. It's just going to be hard to see because of all the rain with this storm. We might have lost. Oh, there we go. Okay. There's a little bit more of this wall cloud. Let me move this over just a touch. So it looks like the rotation, even though we're kind of blind, if we're going off our cameras right now, and our reporter, Luke is out there right now. And he's watching. His camera's down at the moment. Let's go ahead and bring some of that Fort Smith video in. New tornado warning, just a second. New tornado warning for just northern Sebastian County. This whole thing is passed off towards the east. Look at this hail, though. Large hail coming into Fort Smith. This is from Paul Wells, so you've got to take this seriously. We've got hail coming into the south side of Fort Smith, but this storm has now started to turn a little bit farther towards the south and to the east. I'm going to bring up let's bring up the radar. New tornado warning coming out for Sebastian, Franklin, and extreme southern portions of Crawford County. Here's take a look at the radar, and we'll come back to the camera in a second. This is a new polygon coming in from the National Weather Service. This thing is slowly kind of tilting towards the right, but that rotation is right over the airport, or right over the radar and the airport. So we are now, I think we are good for that rotation in Fort Smith. You guys, downtown Fort Smith, you guys are now in the clear. Van Buren, you're also in the clear. Yes, we got a storm coming in, but this whole thing has now tilted a little bit back towards the south, right over the airport. You guys anywhere from, I would say about Grand Avenue North, you guys are now clear. You got the Northside High School, we're clear. Downtown Fort Smith, you guys are clear for now. I know there's still a tornado warning for you guys, and you probably see it on your phone, but you guys are good. This rotation right over the airport, right over the radar, coming in towards that north entrance of the Fort Chaffee base. Chaffee Crossing, we are on the lookout now. Even Greenwood, we're kind of on now the edge to look because this whole thing has been kind of tilting back towards the south. It's kind of making, as a storm, it's making a right-hand turn. This thing is now starting to dive a little bit farther south. Alma, you guys are in the clear. Van Buren, Dora, you guys are in the clear. You may get some rain, but the rotation, and it looks like the hail too, is all shifting back towards the south. You can see a little bit of that curve. Hail core may have weakened a little bit, but that hail is right there. It crossed right over the south side of Fort Smith, right over those dealerships. And then now on US 71, headed towards the airport. Let's bring back Luke. I think we've got a shot back up. All right, there we go. So you're looking at kind of that southeastern edge of the storms. The clouds are so low too because we have so much humidity. Looks like we've got, Michelle, do you have an update on that severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued?
It's for Crawford, Arkansas,
Okay,
Crawford County.
Okay.
But the tornado, I was
Yeah.
going to say, is that the spotter who had the report earlier says it's just 1 mile north of Barling.
All right, so maybe they're staying on this. We have that possible tornado just outside of Fort Smith, southeast side of Fort Smith, close to Barling, where we have some of that hail too. It's so hard to see with some of these low clouds in the trees with this live shot, but this is a great shot. This is an intense thunderstorm in northern Sebastian County. Possible tornado on the ground. You need to make sure that you're still in your tornado safe place. However, if you are in downtown Fort Smith or anywhere near Northside High School, we're clear. According to that storm spotter, they're talking about that rotation and possible tornado towards Barling. We've been looking at some of our cameras. We don't see it, but we got to act as if there is a possible tornado on the ground on the south side of Fort Smith. Here's Barling. Here's Fort Chaffee. We've got the radar. We've got the airport right here. This storm is just on the southwest side of Barling is where we would have that rotation, southwest side of Barling. Heavy rain, though, over Barling itself and trying to cross the Arkansas River. Let me move the map over just a touch. I'll also bring up velocity. Yeah, we're still not going to see it very well, but we have a little bit of that. As the rotation moves off the radar, we're going to get a clearer picture. But it looks like we still have that rotation southwest side of Barling. So this is mostly outside. This is outside the beltway of 540. You guys in Fort Smith proper, Arcoma, I think you're in the clear. Van Buren, we're also in the clear right now. As Barling and areas south, here's Old Jennyland Road. We've had some rotation near you guys, but this is now coming out right over Fort Chaffee. You got the historic district there, the base itself. If you guys live at the links at Chaffee Crossing, we've had rotation in our general area. It's just very hard to see. It's going to be messy. But if you live anywhere in the Barling area, that tornado is very close to you guys and is going to be moving east towards Central City and eventually towards Lavaca. Lavaca, we still have a couple minutes. But this tornado, possible tornado, is going to be heading eastbound into northeastern Sebastian County, and now southwestern portions of Franklin County are also included in this. We can put a timeline on this. This thing is moving about 45 miles per hour eastbound. Central City here in just about a couple minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes from now. Central City, Lavaca, 5:05 here in 10, 12 minutes or so. And then Charleston, we're also going to be on the lookout for this rotation as it continues to move eastbound, and then branch closer to 523. But Fort Chaffee, we're about right here. We're right over that rotation, right at the base, right at the military base is where we have that rotation, a possible tornado as we're coming into the north side, the entrance there. Michelle, you seen anything?
I do not. I see some very strong winds blowing over right now with the radar, but I do not see any.
Just yet. I think in the next couple of scans we will.
All right. Let's go ahead and pull up the Mercy camera. This is coming in from from the Rogers Avenue and coming in from Fort Smith. I'll be able to pull that camera up in just a second for you guys. Now we're kind of on the backside of the storm. It gets a little bit hard to see, but we have that rotation over Fort Chaffee. We're going to bring that camera when we can, but I think for us in Fort Smith, we are now in the clear, all clear for Fort Smith. Barling, east to Central City, Lavaca, we are no longer in the clear. That thing is coming in. So we've had that heavy rain in Fort Smith. We've had some hail. Most of the hail, I think, has been just south of the hospital. As you head south towards Jenny Lynn Road, Fianna Hills, where we had a lot of that hail. Spiro had some of that hail. But you're looking live from the Mercy Hospital, very heavy rain in the distance. It gets hard to see because the rain is just coming down so hard. Let's go back to Max 1 here at the wall. We're watching several different things here. We've got new severe thunderstorm warning. This includes most of Crawford County.
And they did slow down that tornado warning just a little bit. It's going 35 miles per hour.
35, this thing's slowing down, okay. That's great information. Let's go ahead and bring Max 1 here at the wall. Okay, so it's a mess. Tornado warning for northern Sebastian County. Technically, you may still see it on your phone or any kind of device you have. Fort Smith, you're under tornado warning, but the tornado threat is now gone. We are all clear. This rotation is now moving east. That hook goes right over the airport, right over the radar and over Fort Chaffee is where we have that rotation south side of Barling. Into Crawford County, new severe thunderstorm warning. Kind of looks wonky, right? Kind of looking in the opposite direction. We noticed a couple of thunderstorms that just fired off north of this supercell that's back towards the south. This is kind of moving north and east over time. This will include Cedarville. It includes Van Buren. Van Buren, we're getting some of that heavy rain. We're in the all clear in Van Buren in terms of a tornado, but we've got heavy rain coming into town. I'm going to read off a couple things from the National Weather Service on this warning. This goes until 5:30, so this has 35 minutes as these storms that have some 60-mile-per-hour wind potential and half-dollar sized hail, so a little bit smaller than the hail that we had earlier on this storm. We had up to lime-sized hail, guys. This is headed northbound into the Boston Mountains. So Cedarville, Natural Dam, Mountainburg, eventually headed north towards about the Bobby Hopper Tunnel is where we're watching this severe storm that's now lifting back off towards the north. Once it gets farther in the mountains, this may weaken, but the big storm right now, it looks like the latest scan has now moved that hook echo a little bit just off of the radar in the airport. This is where you have that cluster of lightning. This is where we have the hail too. Northern Sebastian County. Charleston, you're also included on this tornado warning as it's pressing eastbound as we speak. Making sure I've got all our stuff charging as well. All right, we go to report power outages in Lavaca. That's coming from Michelle. Let's see. So we've got hail, we've got power outages, and we got that rotation. It looks like near the Barling area is the last time we really saw anything. That was about 10 minutes ago.
And looking at the last couple scans, it looks very broad now.
It looks broad, and notice things are looking messy too. I mean, we've got another rotation that's kind of developing towards the north now, towards Kibler. And so this storm may be trying to do a little bit of a split. But we have some rotation now that's a little bit farther north. This is now Crawford County. Still tornado warning from the previous warning. But I think the heart of the storm is still farther south, here in Barling, where you have this rotation that's headed eastbound towards Lavaca, Bloomer, and eventually Charleston. But we may have some more rotation here towards the north. New tornado warning now being drawn by the National Weather Service, kind of including both, but it's mainly this rotation here on the southeast side of Barling as you're leaving Fort Smith, leaving Barling, and you're headed eastbound right now. Let me go ahead and bring up, this is on 255, eventually just becomes Arkansas 22. As you're headed, there's that giant Budweiser can as you're coming out of Fort Smith. That's kind of where we're talking about, Lavaca. Here's that rotation coming in for you guys in the next couple of minutes. Bloomer, Charleston. Once again, if you're just now tuning in, we had a tornado warning, possible tornado on the south side of Fort Smith from maybe Spyro. This thing could be bouncing a little bit, but we're going to try to see if we have any damage reports or anything like that as soon as they're available. But Fort Smith, we're in the clear. Yes, there's still tornado warning that's active. The National Weather Service will go ahead and expire that eventually, but we are now in the clear in Fort Smith and Van Buren. We still have some thunderstorms around Van Buren, but I think the tornado risk is now back towards the south and east. Here's Barling, headed out on 22. They coming right. Basically, here's Barling, and then that north entrance of Fort Chaffee is about here. The military base extends towards the south, and that's where we're watching.
They actually just
this
kind
rotation.
of cut that tornado warning to not include Fort Smith anymore. So if you're in Fort Smith, I think you are in the clear right now.
Yep, so here's that new warning. Eventually they're going to expire this warning. You still see that red. Eventually this will be expired. But the new, kind of the latest warning is back towards the south and east, right here in Barling. Let me drop this south a little bit. Headed on 22. So we're coming out of Fort Smith. Got a new scan trying to come in. Once that arm comes around, that may clean this up. But Central City, Lavaca, Bloomer, headed eastbound to Charleston. You guys need to be making sure that you're in your tornado safe spot. Here's that rotation, a little bit clearer now as it's moving away from the radar. This thing has potentially, we don't have anything confirmed, this thing has potentially dropped a tornado at times. It's coming out. There's also some really gusty winds with this storm just too, up to about 60-mile-per-hour winds as this storm just continues to blow out. But we've got some general rotation, southeast side of Barling, coming out of Fort Smith. Fort Smith, you guys are now in the clear on this storm. I'm going to do a wide view really quick. Let's talk about what everyone's kind of seeing. We've got a cell in in Carroll County. This thing is headed out. This is south and east of Berryville and Eureka Springs. This thing's moving out. We don't have to worry about that. But right now, it looks like they cleaned that up. You see that, Michelle? They finally expired it completely.
Yes.
So we just have that tornado warning for northeastern Sebastian County, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning, a very thin severe thunderstorm warning for Crawford County. This is where we have maybe some smaller hail, not as large as the hails we had earlier today, but we have some possible hail and some gusty winds. This is coming into Cedarville. This is just past the Lee Creek Reservoir. It's headed towards Natural Dam. We've got gusty winds for you guys, and this is going to be coming in just north of Alma towards about Mountainburg. So you guys on the Mountainburg area, as you're coming in, it's just beautiful driving country as you head up in elevation here. But otherwise, severe thunderstorm warning for central Crawford County, and then that tornado warning. Still see a little bit of that hook there. Not as crisp as it was earlier, but that tornado warning for northeastern Sebastian County, and it now comes into southwestern Franklin County. Charleston, we've got heavy rain. I'll go ahead and pull up hail for us too real quick. Hail, you can see the path of this hail too. It started just north and west of Spyro, came right over the Spyro Mounds, and then north side of Bacola, right at that redone intersection there on the north side of Bacola with the Casey's, the Sonic, and that ballpark gas station there. You got a couple dealerships there coming in the south side of Fort Smith. We've got some hail, according to the radar, coming into those dealerships, Vienna Hills. And then that hail passed a little bit east, coming just next to the airport, Fort Smith Regional Airport, towards the Air National Guard Station. And then notice how a pocket of it went north. See this pocket that kind of skimmed us in downtown? This is the reason why we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. So we kind of had a split in the storm. This northern section moving north, not nearly as intense as the southern portion, but now hail coming into Barling and Central City. We've had some of the hail near Fort Chaffee, southeast side of Fort Smith, kind of near the Mercy Hospital, mainly just south of the Mercy Hospital there in Rogers. New scan coming in. Still that tornado warning, but more hail coming into Central City. Charleston, you guys probably have 5-10 minutes or so. Maybe you want to go ahead and park. the car in the garage or underneath some sort of shelter before this thing moves in. I'll do it really quickly though, because we've got rotation also coming in as well. You need to get to your safe place. You just need to think in southern Franklin County, we've got hail threats coming in. So if you got a moment, you need to pull something in, go ahead and do that really quickly and then get to that tornado safe place. We already should be in that tornado safe place in Sebastian County. There's no time left. You need to make sure that you're in your tornado safe place from Central City, Barling, east to Bloomer and Lavaca.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
There has been some storm reports of egg-size hail in Sebastian County.
Yeah, I mean this is nuts. You don't always get to the pink category, and I can show you guys really quick, and then we'll go back to velocity and look at that rotation. But when we're looking at some of these, just radar estimates, we're over 2-inch size hail. That is very damaging hail. That can also be life-threatening hail if folks are just outside and it hits you at that velocity. Let's go ahead and bring up a video. Texas Roadhouse, that's right there, you know, on 540, off of 540. We have some hail. Are we able to bring that video in? Oh, Texas Road, not the Roadhouse, Texas Road. This is from Texas Road in Fort Smith. Thank you, Shannon, for bringing this in. That is massive hail. It's like you're living next to the softball park during a game. Large hail coming in. That is damaging hail. That will go through a windshield very easily. We also have more hail coming in from Fort Smith. Let's bring that video in as well. This is from Hiram Walker, the Hiram Walker area. Large hail there coming in the south side of Fort Smith. We got hit hard in the past couple minutes. Let's go ahead and bring back the rotation. We've got hail still reporting in northeastern Sebastian County, right over Central City, north side of Fort Chaffee. But we also have that rotation we've got to be looking at.
It has gotten pretty strong.
Yeah, it looks like it is upticking. Or looking at National Weather Service. This is just straight up quote from this is the main warning coordinator meteorologist. Tornado potential remains as the cell continues to be very well organized. This thing is approaching Bloomer and Charleston. Charleston, you've got to start thinking about their tornado safe place. Bloomer, Lavaca, get in that tornado safe place. Try to get into the most interior, lowest part of your house. The idea is to get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You can get a tree branch, and with winds that come out of a tornado, it can just impale right through a wall. So you try to get as many walls as you can. Maybe grab some bike helmets out of the garage, be a great idea. Maybe some extra blankets, maybe just bring the mattress. But this is right coming into the eastern side of Sebastian County. There's that rotation right over Bloomer. Lavaca, we're a little bit farther north. This may just stay south of us, but still be in your tornado precaution area. Maybe we wait 5 minutes and we may be in the clear, but it looks like this rotation is about here, just southwest of Lavaca. We've got this rotation. Back south here where you have the bright red, that's a gust of wind. And so we've got some 60-mile-per-hour winds that are gusting out south of Bloomer. But our rotation is a little bit back here towards the north. We've got a little bit this kind of dull green next to the red. That's where our rotation is. Bloomer, Arkansas, you need to be making sure that you are in your tornado safe place. Ursula, make sure you are also in your tornado safe place. Here's the county line. We've got Sebastian County. We've got southwestern portions of Franklin County. Charleston, this thing is coming very close to you guys eventually. This thing's kind of hugging right along Arkansas 22. Right along Arkansas 22. Guys in the control room, have we heard anything from Luke? All right, he's on his way towards Barling. We are headed on 22 though. This is 22 where we have that rotation right through Bloomer and eventually headed towards Charleston. Let's go ahead and get another. Michelle, you said the updated speed was 35 miles per hour?
Yes, and they did cancel the tornado warning for Crawford, Crawford County, and they did continue it for Franklin and Sebastian until 5:30.
All right, so what Michelle's talking about, let me zoom out for a second. National Weather Service has now trimmed that tornado warning. You're going to see in a second. So it gets tricky because the Arkansas River paints where the county lines are. Here's Crawford County. They're going ahead and they're going to trim this part of the warning. So anyone in Crawford County, you're in the clear. Yes, we've got some heavy rain and hail coming in just west of Dean Springs, right towards Natural Dam, Cedarville, Uniontown. We've got a couple of thunderstorms that broke off from this parent storm. But this is the main storm now. This is no longer going to impact any kind of threat on Crawford County. This is just eastern Sebastian County. All right, let's go ahead and bring Luke in. He's actually a little bit farther south. He's on Highway 10 But he may have a clearer view of this if he can get on the south side. But he's coming into the Greenwood area. He's on Highway 10. We're going to continue to check in with Luke. He's been trying to watch this storm. The road networks gets a little bit hard outside of Fort Smith. So sometimes, these storms don't have to obey stop signs, right? So they just keep on going. So it takes us a little bit longer. Now he's turning. He's looking directly at that supercell thunderstorm that may have potentially dropped a tornado near Spiro, and also we had a port near Barling, maybe south side of Fort Smith. None of that is confirmed. We had a couple reports of some folks seeing some stuff, so it's very hard to see because it's right next to the radar. It makes it very difficult to see, kind of blind when it hits the radar. But right now he's coming through that Greenwood area. They're passing First Baptist Church. But he's trying to get us a clearer view of that storm that's on the left-hand side of his screen. This supercell has been sitting and spinning all the way from Spiro, right in the south side of Fort Smith, and now passing Fort Chaffee, coming into Bloomer, and eventually Charleston. That's the Greenwood Square right now. So he's right in the heart of Greenwood. He's probably I'm guessing he's trying to get on 96 and head north, try to cut through. They're on the east side he's got to go around Fort Chaffee. That storm has been right over Fort Chaffee. He's probably headed north 96. He'll probably take a ride at the Budweiser can and then head on 22, headed towards Bloomer. So we're going to continue to check with him. Let's go ahead and bring up the radar once again as we watch that rotation. Here's that spinning in the atmosphere. To clean it up, let's take off some of the colors. The purple color shows you where we have intense rotation. We have it right south side of Lavaca coming into Bloomer. You notice how on the map here it turns really green and then kind of brown, but there's not as much city. That's Fort Chaffee itself. They own all that land. That rotation has been crossing right over Fort Chaffee. Here is some of the base where it's a little bit clearer where they have the buildings, and then you've got Chaffee Crossing right here with the old barbershop, Elvis Barbershop right there. But this is where the base is, Fort Chaffee. This is just now leaving the base, kind of on the eastern fringes of Fort Chaffee, headed right into Bloomer, Arkansas 22, and headed into Charleston too. You got to make sure you're in a tornado-safe place though. In southwestern Franklin County. We're good in Fort Smith. We're good in Spiro where we had that storm spinning like crazy earlier. We're good for now. We may have more thunderstorms try to pop up a little bit later, but still we have that tornado warning coming in to northeastern Sebastian County. There's that rotation, new scan coming in. It looks like it's starting to pick up in its velocity, Michelle. I'm going to pull up the velocity here too. So what Michelle was talking about, it's starting to increase its rotation, it's increasing its spin. If we can make sure if her microphone is all good, let's go ahead and leave that up. Charleston, we've got a gust of wind here. You see that red? That's gusty wind, 60 mile per hour winds, and then we have the rotation right next to Bloomer right now. Michelle, are you seeing anything from National Weather Service?
No, they're just talking about how it's getting stronger right now as it moves towards Bloomer. So the tornado potential appears to be increasing with this cell as well. And you can really see that with the new runs with this radar.
And once it gets away from that radar, like you were saying, Michelle, it's getting a little bit clearer for us too. So eastern Sebastian County, rotating storm, possibly has dropped a tornado at times. We have shown you guys the video of the hail. Let's take an updated look on some of that hail too. Looks like it exploded again.
I do have an update, Matt.
You have an update? Go ahead.
The tornado warning will be extended east.
It's going to be extended east. All right. So what happens now is this red polygon is going to be pushed east. Now crossing, we've got 2 National Weather Service offices, so they've been coordinating right now. But we're likely going to see another tornado warning that's going to maybe include portions of Logan County and the rest of southern Franklin County. Right now, this is just Lavaca, Bloomer, into Charleston. But be on the lookout. Clarksville, Paris, Driggs, we may be on the lookout for a new tornado warning that's going to be coming out. We're going to give that to you as soon as that's available. But it looks like, all right, let's bring up Luke. It looks like the rotation and the hail is starting to pop up even more. All right, so you're looking at that supercell. You can see even the rings of this storm. That shows you very intense rotation. So he is headed northeast right now. He's coming out of Greenwood, and he's headed towards Bloomer and Charleston. We've got Drive 5. Luke is our chief photographer. He's done this several times. But he's watching this storm as it continues to press east deeper into the river valley outside of Fort Smith. Some of this spotty cell coverage may kind of impact things a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring back the radar. We've got the hail tracker. Here's that new tornado warning. It looks weird because eventually the National Weather Service in Little Rock will have to extend this out. So it's going to get messy here for a second, but new tornado warning as this storm, it looks like it's strengthening, you guys. This thing is spinning faster, and it's also dropping more hail, and it has more lightning with it too.
And they are saying 2-inch hail, which is hen-size hail.
Inside, I mean, we're talking about eggs. Darren Bob just had a story about the eggs, right? And the prices. That's the size of these hailstones coming in right now.
We're actually getting photos of
Erica, are you able to say that again?
We're getting photos of hailstones that are easily 3 inches across.
3 inches.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. So massive hail coming in with this storm. This storm is healthy. We've had several videos and pictures of the hail. So regardless whether, I mean, we talk about the tornado threat, right? Because sometimes that's the most serious impact. But when you have hailstones 2 to 3 inches large, that is in a wider location than the tornado itself, that can cause a lot more damage than maybe a quick tornado that spins up and then is gone, you know, one of those little weak ones. But we've had a lot of hail. Hail is where you have the lightning and where you have some of this light kind of purplish, pinkish color on the north side of the rotation. The storms like to have 2 pockets. They've got a hail pocket, and then right underneath it towards the south, they have that rotation pocket. But it looks like this thing is really wrapped up, Michelle. Let me go ahead and put on a debris tracker. It's hard to see.
And they keep saying storm spotters say
Yeah.
the rotation's very close to the ground.
So they're noticing the wall cloud is close to the ground. Of course, things are humid, so that just makes clouds look lower than they sometimes would really be normal-wise. Let's bring up Luke. Luke is getting close. He's looking right at the storm. Now he's had the camera. All right, you see that wall cloud. Let's keep that up. It looks like we may have a possible funnel there on
And the
right in
National
middle.
Weather Service as well is saying that the tornado is almost very close to touching down on Bloomer.
Yeah, this is close. I mean, look how low those clouds are. We're getting some beautiful country in the river valley, but it makes it very difficult to see. But that may have possibly been a funnel cloud that is very close to reaching the ground. Once again, this is eastern Sebastian County, about to cross into Franklin County. This is our debris tracker. It's messy because we have some of the hail. It's hard to tell. If we get a spike here near Bloomer, that would help indicate that we have a tornado on the ground. But Ursula, Charleston, you've got to be in your safe place. This thing is spinning faster. It's really tightening up. And on the other side, if you don't get the rotation right over your house, you're going to get some hail. We've had hail reports anywhere, like Erica's saying, up to 3-inch size hail. That's larger than eggs. You go to the grocery store, you think of an egg larger than that. We're talking about almost softball-sized hail with some of these pockets as this thing is moving east. Let's bring up Luke again. There's some trees there, but in a second, I think that the tree will clear for a moment. He's going to come in and out. I don't know if we have a way, guys, if we do a triple box, if we're able to keep Luke in one corner. Let me know, but we've got this tornado warning coming in southern Franklin County. Here, guys, this is a classic supercell. Well, you've got heavy rain, lots of lightning. You've got hail coming into Ursula. There's that rotation. Very tight rotation. Large hook echo, about to cross the county line in from Sebastian County into Franklin County. Charleston, you've got to be in your safe place. You do not want to mess with a storm that's rotating like this. This thing is spinning quickly, and it's coming right towards you guys in Charleston.
Hey, Matt.
Branch, Arkansas, you guys be next. Yeah, Michelle.
There are some storm chasers that have seen a touchdown on their live streams.
All right, so there may be a touchdown, possible tornado. Nothing confirmed until we can officially see something, but possible tornado on the ground. Sometimes this may even bounce around a little bit, may drop, lift back up, drop. We can take a look at the debris again. You see that, Michelle?
Yeah, I
think
can see it.
indicates
And
right
that's a
there.
classic hook echo, too.
All right, so we got a hook echo, guys. We now have a debris signature. We may want to, on digital platforms, we may want to see we have a debris signature now, right in that hook. Right in that hook where you have that green is where we have a debris signature. This thing is picking up something. It's either picking up limbs, leaves, parts of trees, maybe fences or anything like that, but it may also be picking up. Yeah, there's a new scan coming in. That is a debris ball. That debris ball is crossing the county line right from Sebastian County into Franklin County. You guys in Bloomer are now in the clear. You may still have some rain. Hail in Ursula, but that debris ball is just off of 22 as you're trying to come in to Charleston. This radar scene would indicate that we have a tornado on the ground about to cross the county line into southern Franklin County. You need to be in your safe place, especially if you live south on the south side of Charleston. They're on 217 as you're just headed outside of town. Once you head outside downtown, you head on 217. Once you head a little bit south of the Charleston High School.
And the National Weather Service as well is saying that there is a debris ball on correlation coefficient.
Yep, that's what we're showing you right now. Let's go ahead and I'm going to move this.
And the velocity is
Move to
getting
inside.
pretty tight as it moves to Charleston.
New tornado warning now coming out too. It looks like reissuing that tornado warning. I know it's messy. So that tornado, possibly on the ground, most likely on the ground. That is Potato Hill Road. So this is just outside of Bloomer. This is pretty rural. You just passed Big Creek, but this thing, let me zoom out a little bit. Coming into the southwest side of Charleston. Charleston, you've got to be in your safe place. This may be on this, skimming the south side of town where we have that debris ball. And also, remember, radar is fairly accurate, but sometimes it can paint it, a few hundred yards off. So that debris ball essentially is coming into the south side of Charleston. That's where we possibly have a tornado on the ground at this moment. We've got Drive 5 there on the top right. That was from Luke. He's been watching this storm. But here's what we're talking about. You see this whole pendage of red. That's the hook echo. You see the red line. That's a new tornado warning being issued. But right here is where you have that debris ball. We have a tornado on the ground crossing into southern Franklin County. Here's Charleston. We've got the high school about here. You head outside the high school.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, Michelle?
So they're now saying it's not radar indicated, it's observed, and it is a confirmed tornado.
All right, so we have eyes on the ground that are seeing this tornado. So it's now radar confirmed and observed from the National Weather Service. Tornado on the ground, southern Franklin County, coming right to the south side of Charleston. This is going to be crossing 217 here very shortly. Let's go ahead and extend east. You guys are thinking, okay, Logan County, what's going on? We've got a new tornado warning for Logan County. I'm going to clean this radar up a little bit. Very well-defined hook echo on the southwest side of this storm. We've got a tornado warning for central Logan County. This includes Driggs and Paris, back west towards Clarksville and Subiaco. We're also included with this too. Altus, we're a little bit farther on the north side of this, but this rotation's probably just going to be chugging right along 22, coming right into Branch and Ratcliffe, Clarksville, into Paris and Subiaco. Logan County, this is your time now to be preparing for your tornado safe location. This thing is moving about 35 miles per hour east. Let me redraw this. We'll edit the speed so it's a little bit slower than it was closer to Fort Smith. But we're going to go ahead and draw this out. Here's our best guess on when this will arrive in your neighborhood. This is on the south side of Charleston, right as we're speaking, but east of Charleston. Branch, 5:32. What time is it? 5:21. So we're talking about 15, 20 minutes coming in Branch, and then eventually Paris, coming into Paris just before 6 o'clock. Subiaco maybe just after 6. But this thing is probably just going to continue to spin. There is nothing at this time that looks like it can try to stop this storm at the moment. This thing is spinning quickly, and it continues to drop some hail too. I'm going to bring up the hail for us, but tornado on the ground observed with the radar and with spotters on the ground right now. Real quick on the debris ball. It doesn't look like it's as intense at the moment. You know, these tornadoes can drop, pick up for a second and drop again, but we've got a massive hook echo. Just this appendage. See this appendage just kind of coming out with this red? And then right in the center, we've got some pixels that are a little bit lighter. That's where we have that debris ball, south side of Charleston, just right in next to 22 as you're headed east towards Logan County. But hail itself, let's pull up hail. Hail coming into Charleston. So hail is probably the biggest threat for downtown Charleston. As you come into the high school, and as you head just down Main Street, you got the Charleston Community Center. You got that GMC Buick dealership right in downtown Charleston. That's where we have hail coming in. It looked like we picked up some massive hail in between Lavaca and Bloomer, and we've been watching those reports. Darren and Erica, they're also in here as well. They're going through damage reports for us, and they've been noticing lots of pictures and videos of folks showing in large hailstones coming into the river valley. Lavaca to Bloomer, we had a huge drop of hail, and then now we're watching the storm as it moves eastbound. Let's go ahead and I'll put up normal radar again. There's your hook. Charleston, you've got to be in your safe place, especially south side of Charleston. That's where we have this rotation coming right into town. Tornado warning still in effect. More tornado warnings continue to be painted off towards the east because this storm is healthy. So you've got mainly that rotation on the south side of the storm, and then right here in that deep red and pink is where we have massive hail falling. Charleston, whether you're getting rotation or hail, you're getting something. We're hitting right in downtown Charleston. This is going to be coming in a branch here in the next 10, 15 minutes. Just cruising down 22, going down East Main Street right now in Charleston, but then it comes back to 22 and just headed eastbound, just following right along that road there. Do we have any updates from Luke? I don't know if you guys have heard. All right, it sounds like he's in spotty location right now with the service, so we'll try to get him in a moment. But we've have storm spotters observing it, and we also have it radar confirmed at this time. Hail continues to fall. It's rotating quickly. Look at the rotation now. This is right over Charleston. Right over Charleston, we've got that rotation. Just spinning here. Lots of lightning too, but Charleston, this is right over us. You guys in Bloomer, Lavaca, you guys are good now. Most of us, Sebastian County, you're in the clear. All of Sebastian County, you're in the clear now. Right before we dive deep on this rotating storm, I'm going to do a quick overview. A lot of folks are wondering, what about me? We have a tornado watch, the entire river valley. When am I going to get storms? What about Northwest Arkansas? Northwest Arkansas, we're clear. We had a few showers earlier, but most of the severe threats are going to be right in the heart of the river valley. We've got a tornado watch. That includes anywhere south of the mountains. I'll pull this on. This yellow color shows you the tornado watch all the way from eastern Oklahoma right into central Arkansas. And you can see how that potential just continues to wrap up in this storm as it heads into the southern portions of Franklin County. If you live anywhere close to Ozark, Mulberry, I think even Altus, we're good. We may get some rain out of this. Some of it may be even heavy, but most of the threats will be south. Anywhere north of I-40, you're good. I think Clarksville, we're probably going to be good. Anywhere north of Ozark and Mulberry, we are fine. Yes, that we still have some cells here on the backside. It looks like in the Fort Smith area, we have some kind of cells rebuilding on the backside. Let's take a closer look at that. Looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for Barling. Some of these cells kind of on the backside are still dropping maybe a little bit of hail, not nearly as much as they were, but we still have some storms, not anything rotating at this time. This is northern Sebastian County. Let's go ahead and bring Mercy up. This is coming in from Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, where we're dry in Fort Smith, but you're looking south and east. So you're looking towards this storm. There's now two kind of pockets. There's heavy rain and maybe a little bit of hail in Barling, north of Fort Chaffee, but the rotating storm is right over Charleston. Charleston, you've got to be in your safe place, and you've got to be in your safe place anywhere east of Charleston on 22, Ratcliffe Branch, coming right into Coxville and Paris. Paris and Driggs, we've still got probably 20 minutes, but this is a great time to start preparing. Make sure you grab everyone, grab the pets, grab the kiddos, make sure you've got some blankets, get in that tornado safe place, get as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible to keep your family safe. Other parts of Logan County, I think for us in Booneville, we may be okay. The rotation's probably going to stay a little bit farther north than us. So extreme southern portions of Logan County, where we're going to be in the clear. Booneville back towards Tate. Sebastian County, a lot of us are clear, but we've still got these storms we are trying to just kick on out, but we're struggling here with the heavy rain and maybe a little lightning and hail right along the Arkansas River. This is outside of Fort Smith. Fort Smith, we're in the clear. Yes, you may have a tornado warning that's still kind of popping up on your device, but the pocket of rain and the storm itself is back towards the east. Charleston is where we have that rotating storm. We've had that debris ball. Let's go ahead and bring that back up. We got some hail spikes too, Michelle.
Yeah, hail spikes as big as a tennis ball. So
My goodness.
Yeah.
That is massive hail. So what Michelle's talking about, we still have this hook. We've got a debris ball still right here, right next to Charleston. It's hard to tell if it's over Charleston or just outside of town, but we have that rotation right over us in Charleston. And then what Michelle's talking about, you see these lines? What happens is the radar sees such large hailstones. You get what's called a hail spike. You got to have large hailstones for that. It messes with the radar. The radar thinks they're just water droplets that are the size of water balloons, but they're not. That's hail. Massive hail coming in to southern Franklin County. I can show you that hail. In just a second, we're going to show you some new videos of that hail. I have the latest scan on that hail now leaving Charleston and coming right into Branch. Clarksville, we're about to get some of that hail too. Look at that hail as well. That's spiky too. That thing just is circulating the atmosphere several thousand feet up. Now to get hail like that, I mean, we're talking about winds that potentially are going up in the atmosphere over 70 miles per hour. You're driving down the interstate at 70. Think about just going straight up in the sky at 70 miles per hour. That's how fast some of these hailstones can go up, and then they go even faster going down. But with large hail coming in, this is from Zero Street in Fort Smith. Lisa, thank you for this. Large hail coming in to southern Franklin County and Logan County. The blue color shows you where the largest hail is, and then when you get these slivers of purple and pink, we've got a good indication of that hail coming into town. Another look at this is our debris tracker. We've got some debris being lofted into the air, southeast side of Charleston. Michelle, do you have any updates from the National Weather Service?
No, but they did just issue another severe thunderstorm warning for Crawford, Franklin, and Sebastian County until 6 because of quarter-size hail and 65-mile-per-hour winds.
All right, so let's zoom out. This is a mess. It almost looks like, Michelle, that another supercell is trying to form on the backside. Mm-hmm. So let me show you up. We've got this big storm that's trying to now grow. We've got two storms. You got this major storm that we've been dealing with for the past hour or two now. And then this new storm that kind of broke off and is now really beefing up northeastern Sebastian County. This is why we had that new severe thunderstorm warning. I know it's a mess, but we got a new severe thunderstorm warning from about Barling, Lavaca. This is outside Fort Smith. We're good. Actually, they just trimmed it. There we go. They just trimmed it. Anywhere from Lavaca and north and east, we've got another storm that's going to be pressing into a little bit farther north for Franklin County. Ozark, Mulberry, we're good for the storm that's just towards our south. We're getting some rain in Ozark, but we're going to keep our eye on this storm that's now starting to develop back towards the west. It's just kind of just right in the wake of the other storm. But we've got that massive rotation now on the east side of Charleston. I'll show you the shear tracker. Whenever you start seeing blue on this thing too, you got something serious. Mm-hmm. There's that rotation, Michelle. We're coming right out of Charleston. Highway 22 just kind of connects all these towns. You connect from Branch, Ratcliffe is about here, Clarksville, Carbon City, right into downtown Paris. This thing is just chugging along east. You guys in Logan County, go ahead and try to get to your safe place. You got a couple minutes, get a couple, pillows and blankets, mattresses, anything like that. You want to make sure you get just the most protection that you can for you and your family, because this storm has that history of dropping a tornado at times. It still looks like we have rotation. In the latest scan, we still have some debris in the atmosphere. So as far as we know, this thing may still be on the ground, headed eastbound right towards Branch, Clarksville, Ratcliffe, and Carbon City. This thing has also dropped massive hail, up to 2 to 3 inch size hail. That is huge. Softball, almost basically an apple or softball sized hail just coming right in to Logan County. All right, we've got Luke at Highway 23. Let's go ahead and bring that up. And he's headed north from Boonville, coming right into Ratcliffe. So he's going to try to intersect this storm and get us a little bit closer. You see the rain off in the distance towards the north. He's headed north. It may be a little bit kind of towards the left-hand side of his screen, but it's hard to see because you're going through some residential parts there and some rural parts with the forest. But he is headed north, trying to get to Ratcliffe to try to see if he can intercept this storm for us as it just continues to plow right along 22, leaving Charleston right now, Charleston, we're wrapping things up. This rotation is right over Branch, and we just got a new scan too. It looks like that hook echo is just continuing to tighten for
Yeah, it
us.
seems like it's going back into a hook echo.
Anything from the National Weather Service?
They have said it's still continuing that tornado warning because it has been observed, and they're still saying a confirmed tornado was located over Branch, which is exactly where that hook echo is. And it's moving to the east at 30 miles per hour.
All right, 30 miles. Oh, so it's slow. It slowed down a little bit too.
Just a little bit.
Let's get a new track, and let me update it with 30 miles per hour. What we do is we put in the new speeds, and so it's just a simple math calculation, and we will get you that in just a second. But we're showing you right now Drive 5 there on the right. You're looking live from Fort Smith, and looking Fort Smith. So you're looking from the Mercy Hospital. There on the left-hand side of that camera, that is just torrential rain, and that's where the hailstones are falling right now. Massive hailstones east of Fort Smith.
So they're saying that there might be another debris ball on the correlation coefficient.
Okay, so that debris ball, let's go and bring up the radar now. That debris ball is right in this hook echo, right in here. There's that circulation. There's that spinning. Lots of lightning with this. Hail on the north side. This thing is moving at 30 miles per hour. More debris being picked up just southwest of Branch. This thing is coming to Branch right now. Coming into Clarksville and Ratcliffe, closer to 5:49. So here in 10, 15 minutes or so. Coming into Paris, closer to 6:04. So it's just after the 6 o'clock hour. We still got about 30 minutes for us in Paris. This thing has slowed down. This thing is only moving 30 miles per hour now towards the east. Just efficiently rotating. New tornado warning now being issued as they continue to cut off back towards the west. We can take also a look at that debris ball, the latest on it. Yeah, that's what Michelle's talking about. Right in here, we have some of that debris being lifted. Right here, this east of Charleston. Charleston, we're now clearing out. We still have some heavy rain over us. We've got some thunderstorms back towards the south and west too, coming on in.
I'll take over real quick.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay, so for the National Weather Service, they are saying again that a tornado has been confirmed and it is pretty much strong. It seems to be following Highway 22 towards Paris. And I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the velocity so you can kind of see what we're talking about. Give me a second. Awesome. Okay, so here is the better, we're gonna go to the national. So you can just see how bright that velocity is just to the southwest of Branch. That is that tornado that has been confirmed on the ground. And they're saying radios are now reporting a tornado on the ground in Branch, Arkansas. Let's see if I can get some streets for you. A little close to Country Road 29 or County Road 29. Anywhere in Branch, you just need to be in your safe zone as this heads towards the east at 30 miles per hour. And if you're not seeing this tornado, you're probably seeing some golf ball size hail. Basically, they're saying anywhere in Logan and Franklin County as it's pushing to the east at 30 miles per hour. So again, this has been observed. It is a confirmed tornado located on the ground in Branch and is moving to the east at 30 miles per hour.
We've got 21 maybe at least without power in Leflore and the Barling area. New update there. Michelle, were you able to relay that? All right, testing 1, 2, 3. We got. I think we're good. All right, we're doing a quick swap there. We've been on. We're just making sure all batteries are good. We've got at least 21 power outages. And Erica, where?
2100.
2,100 power
Yeah.
outages in the Leflore and Barling area.
Leflore and Barling area.
Central City Hall, near Central City Hall, and then out toward 22. There are patches of power outages out that way. Nothing reported yet out of Charleston or the Bloomer area just yet, but we're still waiting for that to be updated. But right now, almost 2,200 are without power now from the storm as it came through earlier.
And Darren, that's where we possibly had that tornado touchdown. I mean, so something could have, this tornado could be hitting some infrastructure, and that's why the power outages are there. We also have heavy hail, large hail, 2 to 3 inch size hail can also do some damage to power equipment. And then we also have gusty winds. Don't forget about that. That can still hit you. 60, 70 mile per hour winds can still do some damage and can still also cause some power outages. Let's talk about that, the couplet right now. We got an update, I think, coming in from producers. All right, Luke. Luke is on Highway 23. Let's go ahead and bring him Luke. Luke is getting close to this storm. We want to show you what it looks like right now. He's still winding through. As we're going to watch him, let me talk a little bit about what we're noticing. The couplet right now has started to broaden. It has weakened a little bit. Not sure if it's still touching down, and that happens a lot. These things go through cycles. Touchdown, lift back up, touchdown. Michelle, do you see any kind of debris ball at the moment?
I do not. Actually, just exactly what you're saying. It looks like the velocity has kind of fallen apart. They believe this tornado did touch down at one point, lifted up, and then touched down again. And so that's what I think it kind of be the pattern going throughout Logan and Scott County. And
so it's already had that history, and it probably will just continue that. You know, the trend is your friend with this kind of storm. But Luke is trying to get closer to this storm for us. You know, it gets a little bit hard, though, as you're trying to drive. Beautiful country as he's driving through, as you guys know. But it's very hard to sometimes see where those storms are. But that storm is in front of him as he is approaching. He's going to catch up to it because this thing is now slowed down. I've got a latest update of now 25 miles per hour. So this thing has really weakened. And as it does so, it continues to spin. This is the latest on the rotation tracker, left-hand side of your screen. That rotation out of Charleston. Charleston, we are now in the clear in terms of this rotation. There may still be some rain for us, but that rotation right over Branch, that's where that possible tornado could be lifting up and dropping down. Here's the Branch area. Here's 22. As you're coming right through Branch. Ratcliffe is about here. Just as we're crossing the county line into Logan County. Branch is where we have that rotation, that spinning motion, possible tornado coming right towards Clarksville. But guys, we've already seen what's happened so far today. We have large hail. I'll give you that update too. We just kind of keep going back and forth. The hail core has weakened a bit, but even with these blue, we're still getting severe sized hail. Maybe even 1.5 inches. So we're talking about quarters. Still can do some damage. Still can crack a windshield very easily, even at a quarter. You're smashing windshields back towards the west, though, with hailstones that are 2 to 3 inches in size.
I will say there's been multiple reports of hen egg size hail, tennis ball size hail, and also apple size hail. I've never really heard of that because it's just
large.
Very rare.
We're just going to the grocery store right now. But we've got, there's that rotation coming right crossing the county line into Logan County. Here's Branch. Here's Clarksville. Ratcliffe, we're right in between. New scan coming in. This thing is crossing the county line as we speak. So it's now leaving Branch, coming into Clarksville, and coming right into Logan County.
They are saying that circulation has weakened, but the conditions are very favorable for a redevelopment. For it to pop back up. So again, if you are in that close to Paris, honestly, do not get out of your safe zone just yet because this is heading your way. It's like Matt was saying, it's moving 30 miles per hour to the east. I do believe that rotation right now has kind of weakened, which means I think it's going to probably pulse back up in the next few minutes or so because like National Weather Service is saying that the conditions are very favorable for it to redevelop as it moves towards the east into Logan County.
Tornado watch still continues this evening all throughout the river valley. Right now you're looking, can we bring the green screen up? We'll show you that rotation. It has weakened a little bit. That's what Michelle has been saying. Magic, like that. Michelle has been talking about that rotation. A little bit broader now. That's good. But still spinning. Still spinning enough that this could still, at any time, drop a tornado as it's coming right towards Ratcliffe and Clarksville. Branch, you are now clearing up as this thing stays south of Peter Pender, south of Etna, coming right along 22. This thing is just hugging the road there. Now, Luke, our chief photographer, he's about right here. He's coming right into Clarksville right now. He's just riding right along 23, coming into 23. 23 meets 22. He lost signal there for a moment just because you got some poor cell service just south side of town. 23 hits 22. So he's coming right in, and he'll have a great view on this storm as it continues to push right along 22. Clarksville, Carbon City, Paris, you guys will eventually be next. I'm gonna do a wide view. Let's do a quick reset. Let's show what everyone's kind of seeing at this time. Let me turn on normal radar. All right, well, got a new severe thunderstorm warning just coming out southern edges of Lake Eufaula. Let me go ahead and paint before we start. Let me paint the tornado watch as well. All right, here we go. Right now, River Valley, anywhere south of the mountains, we've got that tornado watch until 11 o'clock. So we're not done. This is the major storm that we have at the moment. Tornado warning, southern Franklin County, coming into Logan County. New cells are probably going to continue to pop up in eastern Oklahoma. And as they do so, they may do the exact same thing that this storm did. Put 60-mile, 70-mile-per-hour winds out, put some large hail out, and also spin. Spin enough that we've had tornadoes that have dropped out of this storm. And most likely tomorrow, the National Weather Service will be out looking at some of the damage reports. We're going to get some crews. We're getting more crews right now. We already have a crew in Fort Smith. We've got a crew in Logan County. Once we can get the storm to pass, then it will be safe for us to take a look at some more of the damage. You guys may already have pictures and videos. Go ahead and send them in. We just pass it along to the National Weather Service. It gives us a good idea, and we talk with the National Weather Service to let them know where should they kind of start their path as they're looking and surveying the damage. So any new information that you guys have is super helpful in terms of what you have seen so far. You can go ahead and just send us that. You can get the 5 News app, and then right there you scroll down a little bit, and then I think it's this orange tab, and you can just hit submit photos, type a little information, and it's all good to go. But we have that tornado warning for the Eastern River Valley.
I will say, Matt, there has been no injuries or damage reports from Sebastian County yet.
That's fantastic.
That's some good news.
Fantastic news. They may trickle in later, but sometimes when you get a large tornado or anything like that, those reports come in quick. But sometimes if they're smaller, if they're hitting more rural pockets, it takes a little bit longer for some of those damage reports to come in. So the longer it takes, it kind of leans over to kind of the good side of things. All right, in just a moment, we're going to have a live look. All right, there's horses. He is right there off of 22. Is he still on 23? He's about to get to 22? I think he's just on the south side of Coxville. This thing is coming in. This is just on the south side of Coxville by this horse ranch. There's that supercell thunderstorm that has a history of not only 2 to 3 inch size hail, egg-sized, apple-sized, lime-sized, whatever fruit you want to use, and has also touched down a couple tornadoes in its path. This thing is riding. It's just cruising down 22. It's sticking next to the highway, headed right down towards Coxville, coming into Coxville any moment. He's trying to zoom in a little bit. We're trying to watch with him too. You can see a little bit of that spinning in the atmosphere as well. But right there in the tree line, I think it froze for a second, it may come back. But right there beyond the tree line is where you have the bottom edge of the storm, and that's where you try to look for seeing a funnel cloud or seeing a tornado on the ground. Michelle, have you seen anything with the debris ball?
No,
I'm checking about 2 minutes.
but they are saying that the circulation has moved out of Franklin County.
Okay.
So if you are in Franklin County, you're in clear right now of this tornado warning, but you could still see that hail, gusty winds as it pushes through. But yeah, it now has been pushed all the way into Logan County.
Okay.
So it has crossed
Okay.
the county line.
You might also be seeing that other storm. Let me pop this up.
And they're
Okay.
also saying that a new circulation has been trying to develop. So new rotations starting to pop up with that same storm.
Are you talking about back here?
Yes.
Yeah. So earlier, it was just this one storm. You see that hook. But then the backside of the storm kind of branched off, and it wants to be its own supercell. And now, like Michelle's talking about, you see this? There's a little bit more rotation. I can pull up velocity for you. You can see what we're talking about. Tight circulation here in Coxville. Now it's moving east. I mean, we're in Logan County now, but a little messy. But we have another circulation that's forming on the back edge of things, just where we just dealt with things, just 30 minutes ago. More rotating portions of this storm, Lavaca to Bloomer, just west of Charleston. We're almost just trying to get a repeat offense here, coming in from Sebastian County again. So we're going to keep our eye on this storm. Right now, they have a severe thunderstorm warning that's painted for this because the rotations, it's a week. But this is the storm that continues to produce that very tight rotation. Luke is about here. Luke is watching this storm as it's crossing right over town and headed eastbound. But now this is a Logan County threat. We're gonna zoom in for a little bit. We still got the rotation. We're gonna keep bouncing back and forth, but we gotta watch this rotation because it comes right into Paris. Here's Carbon City, 22, right in Paris, just south of Grey Rock. This thing, as you're headed out of Coxville, you kind of got some rural country roads there, but then as you finally get closer to the west side of Paris. We're probably about 10 minutes out coming into Paris, but here's that rotation. Make it a little bit simpler. Got a new scan with the radar there too. There's that pocket of rotation. Luke's about here, well, a little bit south, about here. As this thing is pressing eastbound. The road to 22, you can kind of see the road. See this line right here? There's 22. So we're just over 22, heading to Carbon City, and eventually Paris. We have an update from Luke. Yes, we're talking with Luke. He needs to stay on the back side of this storm because you don't want to trap him here. Let's go ahead and put Luke, once this passes just out of Clarksville, wait 2 minutes, and then we can follow in on the back side. 22 may be just far enough south that I think he's going to be okay. But Luke is about here. Now I'm getting a new report. Okay, Luke's about here. So have him wait for a second, and then he'll follow in that. But Carbon City, Paris, we're now on the path of this storm as it's coming in, and we can even move the rotation tracker back west because we kind of have another small little rotation.
It's trying.
It's trying, but we don't really have anything yet. I think that's a lake, so I don't think that's a purple thing. We have some broad rotation that we're just going to keep our eye back towards the west as the rain continues to fall. Here's that storm again. Zoom out. I'm going to put a loop on this.
And that tornado warning does continue until 6.
Till 6.
By the way, yes.
Here's what Michelle's talking about. Spinning rotation right over Coxville, headed right into Branch, or not out of Branch, Coxville, coming right into Paris. You got a little stretch there. Roll again before you get in the city of Paris. This storm is just over Coxville, headed out. If we zoom out a little bit more, we'll talk about who's in the clear at the moment, where we've got some other cells. We've got a couple other downpours in Madison County. These are not severe. We don't have to worry about these. Northwest Arkansas, we're in the clear. We had our storms last night. They were close. They were hitting McDonald County, and then they kind of sagged south, and we mainly just got some rain. So we were good with that. But we've got this storm coming in right over Coxville. Let's bring in Luke. We've got a new update from Luke. All right, he's headed north into Coxville. So he's been just south. He's been kind of parked there waiting. He's storm spotter certified. He knows what he's doing too, which is great. So this is coming in the south side of Coxville. He's going north towards where this thunderstorm is. So he's in a very safe location. Every once in a while the cell service come out. Okay. All right, it cleared up the image a little bit. Oh, look at that storm. So that whole general rotation is still there.
And that's the exact wall cloud that the National Weather Service is looking at too.
Okay, yeah. They're going to watch it. Yeah, let me bring up. So he's now into the town of Cox. So he's coming right in. There, you just passed a sign there. So he's watching that rotating storm. Michelle, it's hard to tell if we have a debris ball or not. There may be a little bit of debris in the air. Looks like that thing is really spinning. I want to clear some of these trees in a second. But once again, possible tornado with this storm as it's headed east towards Paris. Paris, this is on the backside. You guys in Paris are seeing the other side of this storm, and it's coming right towards you. This is a great shot. But he's looking at this coming right in. That whole structure, you can see flows coming right in, but man, that thing is really spinning. We need to clear that tree. But you can see a bit of the wall cloud there where that rotation is. And it's just hard to tell if it's making contact with the ground from this shot, but you definitely have a lot of rotation just a couple hundred feet in the air. Easily can put down something. Looks like we have... Michelle, do you have the National Weather Service Little Rock in?
I do.
Okay.
They're just saying that it's still going, actually the corner of Franklin County, so
Yeah.
it's kind of just flirting with the county lines, but still talking about that wall cloud, and it does have a huge hail core. It's golf ball sized in that one as well.
I'm going to show you that hail in a moment. Too, yeah, large hail coming in. There's that hail too. So we've got the circulation on the east side of Coxville. Luke's coming out of it, and now he's about to turn right and head heading on to 22 coming into Paris. The storm's right here. He's about here. But we're watching that hail coming to Paris. Hail just now coming into town. So you're going to get probably some gusty winds first and then some rain. It looks like this storm is also kind of branching out a little bit back east. Subiaco, we've got some of that rain. And so some of us have had some rain already. Think it's not already 5-10 minutes already here. But we're talking about the rotation itself. The rotation is still about 5 minutes coming outside of Paris. We've got the Scenic Byway, Mount Magazine Scenic Byway here, coming right towards Paris. New scan coming in, more rotation. I'll show you. We'll go ahead and take it off. Looks like the rotation a little bit weaker. Let's bring in Luke. I think he's got another updated shot. Now he's on 22. So now he's headed out of Clarksville. He is headed east. You see the road is wet because we just had this storm pass through. I'm also not just looking at the storm clouds. We're kind of looking at the trees themselves, just because, do you see any damage or anything like that? So this is just real-time information you guys are getting from Luke, our chief photographer here at 5 News, watching that wall cloud and watching that whole rotating storm that has dropped possible tornadoes all the way back into eastern Oklahoma. Might be pulling off to reset for a second, but there he is. He's just outside of that rotation. The rotation's here. He's on the backside. This thing's headed eastbound.
The good thing with this is that it seems like the velocity or the rotation has really died down.
It has. It really has. These storms are looking a little wonky in terms of their structure, which is good. We still have rotation, but it's not as tight. It's not as spinning as much as it was earlier. So that's a great news for us. Here's a look at that velocity. Notice how it looks a little bit messier. Remember earlier we had bright green, bright red next to each other, showing you that spinning. Still spinning, still got to be in that safe place in Paris. This thing is right outside of town. And then east to Subiaco, we also need to be on lookout. Midway, Driggs, Corley, got to be in your safe place. We're just kind of cut off near Driggs. This is just north of Driggs. So anywhere north of Driggs, you got to be in your tornado safe spot. This is coming, let's see. Yeah, right before the road makes its final bend, coming in the straightaway into Paris. But here's Paris, rotation right over us. Still have some rotation here back towards the west near Charleston. We're just got to keep our eye on that. We've got more. Michelle, it looks like we've got some reports of more hail with this storm too. So we've got kind of a dual threat going on. 2 different storms doing both 2 different things. We've got hail and tornado threats with this one, and we also have hail threats and a slightly lower tornado threat back towards the west. Let's bring up Luke, Highway 22. Let's bring up his shot right now. Still storms marching east. All right, so he's on 22. He's on the backside. This thing is coming right into Paris. But you see that spinning, that brighter cloud there on the left-hand side of your screen. That's where you have some of that rotating motion. And then deeper into the storm, where you have the darker clouds, is more of that leading edge coming into Paris, where we have some of that hail. But keep looking. He has the camera kind of panned towards the left. That's where we're going to keep watching. Cell service may go in and out a little bit, but he's got a great shot there as we're coming into Paris. Here's Paris. Here's about Luke. But a little bit less defined as we were earlier, and still dropping a lot of hail. That's what Michelle has been talking about all day long. We've got still, it's getting messy because, actually, Michelle, I may be able to take off the previous hail.
Speaking of that hail, Matt.
Yeah, Erica's got an update.
Logan County Sheriff's Office is reporting some damage reports, several vehicles with their back glass busted out from that hail. And as we showed those photos, you could see that there were 2, 3, some even pushing 4 inches in diameter.
Do you know where in Sebastian County that might have been?
The Sheriff's Office hasn't specified exactly where, but they just have made note that they have gotten in those damage reports.
Okay, thank you for that.
And power outages are also going back up now. It's up over 2,220. And they're just small little pockets, Matt, that start there in Central City, right in the middle of Central City, and then extend all the way out, just little bitty pockets of power outages along Highway 255 and 22 between Central City and Lavaca. That's as that storm came through that area earlier, especially in Bloomer.
Yeah, that's where we had that rotation, Darren, too. Easily, tornado popped down, hit some of the infrastructure, and that's why we got power outages. Once these storms clear out, we can get back in. The problem is you think, oh, this storm's passed through, you're good. We've got more storms coming on the backside now. But that's right now, looking from Luke, right there along 22. You see other vehicles parked there on the side with their hazards on, watching this storm. But you see the hillsides there as you're getting close to Mount Magazine. Mount Magazine's there in the distance. But there's that rotating storm, producing hail, and also continues to spin. And there is a possible tornado on the ground with this storm. It's hard to tell at this time. We also have hail. I want to bring up hail real quick. We'll come back to Luke Shaw in just a moment. We want to keep him there. This is the latest hail. So recently I've been showing you the paths of the hail that we've had recently. This is hail going on right now. We've got another hail core right over Charleston. Charleston, we can't get a break. We had that rotation. New scan coming in. See that? Larger hail now reporting in Charleston. This is probably that dark blue, I believe, Michelle's probably 1.5 inches, maybe close to 2.
Yes, 1.5 inches. They just updated it.
Okay, 1.5 inches hail coming into Charleston.
So that's ping pong size hail.
Ping pong size hail. We're flashing a new tornado warning for Logan County. We also have some of that hail in northern Logan County. This is north of Paris.
They actually just updated that tornado warning. It did slow down just a little bit, but it's still a radar indicated at this point. It's not confirmed right now. It was confirmed earlier, but I think it kind of lifted up, and so it's now radar indicated. Hail is still ping pong size. It's moving towards Paris at 25 miles per hour.
And this is what Michelle's talking about. Here's that shear tracker. It's rotation, we should say. Rotation right here, just outside of Paris. Might be even meandering a bit north, but it's not as robust as it was earlier. Still spinning. And Luke's right on that storm too. Still rotating.
And that one goes until 6:45. So we have 45 minutes on that tornado warning.
Notice how, Michelle, see that painted? It's now kind of curving back up north. This thing's kind of been wobbling. This thing started in Oklahoma, came to Fort Smith, then kind of dropped south, and then has been chugging east. And now it may be starting to wrap up more north and east. New tornado warning, Clarksville, Coal Hill.
That cell that we were watching in Charleston, they're actually going to issue a tornado warning on that one too.
Okay, so it looks like honestly, the hook is a little bit better. See that?
Yeah.
Hook's a little bit better. Here's that hook with the Paris storm, but another rotation coming right over Charleston. So this storm will continue to press east. There it is. Okay, there's that new warning. Just a mess, isn't it? We've got 2 supercell thunderstorms kind of competing with one another. To be honest, it looks like the Logan County one is struggling a little bit. This one's starting to look a lot more robust again. New rotation, more rotating storms right over Charleston and headed north and east.
And that one is radar indicated too.
Radar indicated. Okay, great. Michelle's working with the National Weather Service on coordinating with them, which is just awesome. So we've got 2 rotations, 2 hook echoes, Paris, Charleston, each one moving east, but kind of now tilting a little bit more northeast. And so some of the tracks on these storms, let's start with the Paris one, right over us in Paris too. Latest cities, Scranton, 625, and Clarksville, about 6:38. What time is it? So just about 30 to 40 minutes for us in Clarksville. Clarksville right on the edge. That gives us plenty of time to make sure your tornado-safe place is ready, plenty of time to get the pets, bring in the kiddos, make sure we got some helmets maybe, some blankets, pillows, mattresses, whatever you want. Make sure you get into the lowest, most interior room of your house. Clarksville, we've got about 30 minutes to go. Now let's go ahead and draw a track coming out of Charleston with this cell. This thing's kind of moving east. So areas that we had just had a rotating storm. Ratcliffe, it may even get close to Paris too. We'll have to see. But Ratcliffe, 6:17, here in about 16, 15 minutes or so. Paris, 6:35. Another half hour. We're going to be keeping our eyes back towards the west.
And I do want to mention that's the same area that the first one went through as well.
Just tracking one after the other. Wide view. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's give a quick update. Time right now, 6:01. Normally right now, you'd be watching your 5 News at 6, but we have tornado warnings in the River Valley at this time that have had a history of dropping a tornado on the ground, and then also have had a history of dropping 2 to 3 inch sized hail, softball-sized, apple-sized hail, lime-sized hail, all the fruits in the grocery store. That we're talking about massive-sized hail. Erica and Darren are still continuing to work on providing those reports, gathering them together. We've got power outages, possibly in places where we had some of these storms fire up. Looks like we've got more storms firing up. We've got a long evening, guys, ahead of us. We've got more storms firing up in southeastern Oklahoma. You guys in Leflore County, anywhere from Podo and Worcester and Heavener, be on lookout. We've got storms coming in from the west. But let's bring up Luke. We got Luke. He's watching that storm. Try to look closely. So he's coming up there towards Mount Magazine, Highway 22, headed east. He's got a little bit of rain, but he's kind of in between the two storms. Got another storm that's coming in. Looks like you got a police officer there passing by. But there's that storm. You see it right there, headed into Paris. That rotation is over Paris as we speak right now. But he's following that storm, and I hope he's gassed up because we've got more storms coming in from the west too. One following after the other, kind of like a train, different train cars, one after the other. He's just winding the road there. The road's about to turn back towards the left in a moment, so we'll have a better view. I think we'll have a good shot here in a moment. The cell reception holds. There we go. And he's looking towards, Darren Erica, he's looking the west side of Mount Magazine right there, coming right towards Mount Magazine. Mount Magazine has had a beautiful view of this storm coming in, but they're on the left-hand side of the hill, or the mountain, Mount Magazine. There on the left-hand side is where we have that rotation, and it gets a little bit messy there with the trees. We'll clear it out in just a second. But this storm has produced tornadoes on the ground. It's hard to tell. There could easily be a funnel right there, but very, very hard to tell off in the distance. Clouds are low. It's humid out there. We're pouring the rain out. You can see the spirals in the atmosphere as you look on the left-hand side of your screen. Let's go ahead and, let's see. If we can have, we'll go ahead and pause him. And let's have him wait a second because we've got another rotation in. So we've got Luke there coming into Paris. Here's Mount Magazine coming into Paris. But look, we've got another hook echo right back off towards the west. Can we have that again?
It's actually the Short Mountain.
Oh, Short Mountain. Okay.
And Horseshoe Mountain.
Horseshoe Mountain. Okay. So that's what you're looking towards, that Horseshoe Mountain area. But there's more rotation right outside of Charleston. We've got two storms, one after the other, rotation after the other. Show you the velocity. It's just showing you the wind field, the wind pattern. Looks like this is meandering back towards the north. That's Horseshoe Mountain right there. I think, Horseshoe Mountain right there. So Luke's going to pause because we're going to wait for that other storm. We may have him, you saw flash lightning there too. We'll probably have him reposition and look back west towards that next hook echo that's going to be coming in here shortly. So eventually we'll have him turn around once he lets traffic move. But let's take a look at the velocity. This is showing you the wind pattern in the atmosphere. Where the wind's rotating. If they rotate enough, they spiral enough, and they can produce a tornado on the ground. And we have had confirmed tornadoes on the ground so far this evening. Let's go ahead and bring up the green wall again. We've got that pocket of rotation northeast of Paris. This thing is coming towards Morrison Bluff and will be eventually crossing into Johnson County. Clarksville, we talked about you guys. You guys have that tornado warning. We're probably estimating about 6:30 when this rotation will get close to you guys. Scranton, probably closer to about 6:15 or so, 10 minutes or so, getting very close to you guys. This thing is slowly kind of wrapping northbound over time instead of just going due east like it was earlier. This will be crossing the Arkansas River shortly, but this is now northeast of Paris. Paris, we're starting to wrap up. We've got a lot of heavy rain for you guys, but the rotation's now on the northeast side of the storm, and the other rotation's back west. That's where we have another hook echo. Look at this. More rotation here on the east side of Charleston. I can look up the debris tracker. It's hard to tell, but we are getting more of those spikes. And when you see these bright lines, that's showing you hail. And I can get you the latest on the hail too. I'll just do the latest, not the previous tracks. Two pockets of hail right now. We've got a hail on the east side of Charleston, west side of Coxville. And the hail core north of Paris continues to strengthen. This is coming towards you guys in Clarksville very shortly as well. Coal Hill, maybe just on the south side of Coal Hill as this thing moves north and east. And then this storm's not going to be far behind as it also moves north and east. So Brittany, let's go ahead and have Luke. If he's just outside of Paris, let's get him a little bit farther back on 22. Find him a nice location as he's going to maybe look towards this storm. But we're going to have our chief photographer head back. It gets very difficult trying to cross the Arkansas River. You only have certain points where you can do it. So let's go ahead and bring him back. But we've got 2 hail cores. We've got one northeast side of Paris, another one coming in from Franklin County with more severe potential with that. So we've got two different storms here. They were the same storm earlier, then they broke apart, and they're holding hands right now. But they've got 2 rotations, Paris and Charleston. So far, do not see any debris in the debris ball tracker at this time. It's hard to tell. All right, he's headed west. Let's see if we can see what he looks like headed west. So there he's looking towards, I think there on the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see a wall cloud in a second. There's that other rotation just coming right. Highway 22 can't take a break today. Can't catch a break. But he's headed back west towards that next hook echo that's going to be coming in, bringing more of that rotation right over the same areas that we had already some spinning earlier today.
There's
new tornado warning.
New tornado warning, yes.
Do you have the latest updates on that, Michelle?
That goes for Logan and Yellow County till 7 o'clock, and that's because a tornado is radar indicated. A severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing a tornado was located over Branch, again, moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. And you can just see there's 3 tornado warnings just in that area.
What a mess.
Yeah.
All right. Also, quick, let's do another look, just wide view. And let me go ahead and put on the tornado watch as well. Tornado watch continues to the river valley all the way through 11 o'clock. It's just 6 o'clock now, so that's another 5 hours to go. We're going to continue to watch more cells in eastern Oklahoma. See this cell back towards the west in Latimer County. This is starting to also show some weak signs of rotation too. You guys in Leflore County, be on the lookout. But right now, the heart of this storm activity is in the eastern river valley. Northwest Arkansas, you guys are clear. You guys are good right now. Luke's headed back west. Thank you, Erica. Luke's headed back west. Let's go ahead and zoom in on him. See what we got here. Luke's headed back west. Is he hasn't probably made it to Clarksville yet. Let me go ahead and show you where he is. Because when we see his images, it makes it clear on what we're seeing. But we've got one rotation just in between Charleston and Clarksville, and then another rotation north and east of Paris, although I will say this one's kind of weakening a bit. This one's headed over the Arkansas River here in a moment.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
He's
headed towards Clarksville now. Okay.
Do you mind zooming in to some roads so people can see exactly where?
Yeah, let's get that up. Let's start with our Paris storm. That's northeast of Paris. See gray rock in there. Let me turn on rotation tracker. All right, that purple color shows you the rotation. So what we're doing, Paris is towards the south. Here's gray rock. We're starting to get really in the Arkansas River bottoms. We've got Cotton Town Road, and we got Patterson Bluff Road here towards the east. Thank you, Erica. She's filling my water for me. Appreciate it. But here's the Arkansas River. So right in the bottoms of the Arkansas River, we have this rotation. And on the flip side, the hail itself continues to fall too. We've got hail coordinating just north of where the rotation is. Rotation here, hail here, coming into the Arkansas River. So let's talk about, okay, I live in Johnson County near the Arkansas River. Am I going to get it next? Let's talk about that. Let's go ahead and get our tracker out. What was the latest speed on that storm? Do you know? Was it 25?
The tornado warning, 25.
25, okay. Let me update that. It was going a little bit faster, so it has continued to slow down. Here's the latest track for kind of roughly the rotation and the hail itself. This thing is moving 25 miles per hour towards the east. It's just about to cross the Arkansas River, coming into Morrison Bluff here at 6:31. That's about 18 minutes from now or so. And then coming into Clarksville, 6:46. It's got a little bit more time in Clarksville because the storm has slowed down a little bit. But we're watching that rotation cross the Arkansas River from Morrison Bluff right into Clarksville. You guys are on the lookout for this. For Coal Hill and Altus, we're also included in this tornado warning, but I think most of the activity is going to stay towards our south as it moves east. So that's the Paris storm. Let's go back west. Are we able to pull up Luke for a second as we reset this? Guys, here in about, what, almost 2 hours, we're going to have sunset. So he's looking towards that sun. Head on 22. All right, he's headed into Coxville. He has left Paris. He's headed westbound, crossing the bridge there. Once we get a little bit closer, we may see, but there's still a hook in the atmosphere there. There's that next supercell that's on the backside of the first storm that we just had. Notice how the road's soaked. We just had a supercell pass through with its rotation and its hail and its wind and its rain. And another one here on the backside coming in too. I'm going to reset things on my end, but we're going to watch him for a second as he continues to press westbound. Let's see. Michelle, any updates from the National Weather Service?
They're actually being pretty quiet.
Okay.
But I think they're just continuing to watch this rotation. It seems like it's weakening, the rotation is, and so that is some good news as it moves towards Scranton. But still keep an eye on it as it's moving towards the east at 25 miles per hour. But nothing new from the National Weather Service from Little Rock or from Tulsa.
Okay. And this is what Michelle's talking about. So there's that shot there. Let's head back to radar for a second. We're gonna talk with Luke in a moment. So Luke is about here, headed west. Here's that next hook, but notice how it looks a little broken. You really want this to be all just one appendage, right? And so it is a little bit weaker. I can show, and this rotation is coming in towards Coxville again. You got to make sure that you're in your tornado safe spot. I think you guys in Charleston are now okay. Guess what? There's more storms in Oklahoma though, but you're okay for a while now. Charleston, clear. Coxville, not clear. Tornado rotation possibly coming in towards the area, but like Michelle was talking about, it's a little bit weaker. You can see that appendage, a little bit broken, but you got to be in your tornado safe spot coming in. This is southern Franklin County as you're crossing into Logan County, and we've got that other rotation, a lot messier though, crossing the Arkansas River right now, headed north of Scranton and headed towards Clarksville. So Clarksville, make sure you're in the tornado safe spot. You may still have another 20 minutes or so, but make sure you're preparing for that safe spot. And there's that rotation in Clarksville. I'll go ahead and just show you the rotation tracker. This is what Michelle's talking about. Remember earlier we had these bright pockets of purple showing you the spin in the atmosphere? What our rotation tracker does is it just throws all the rain away, just throws everything away, and just looks at where the atmosphere is spinning the most. And when we're looking at this spinning motion in Clarksville, it's a lot weaker. And on the flip side, let me look at the debris tracker. Not really seeing much. Here's that appendage. It looks really messy, but not really seeing much at the moment. And then, I'll be honest, Michelle, this is just a complete mess.
Yeah.
The debris tracker sometimes messes with some of the hail, and we've got hail. I'll show you the latest on the hail too. This is the current hail pockets. Looks like the hail has gotten a little bit bigger in northern Logan County. Looks like National Weather Service kind of reissuing a tornado warning. New scan coming in, even beefier now. Northern Logan County crossing the Arkansas River rotation with this storm too. And then right over Coxville, we have more hail. This is probably about quarter-sized hail. When you're talking that white to light blue color here on the map, quarter-sized hail, probably closer to ping-pong-sized hail in northern Logan.
I will say, Matt, that they did cancel the tornado warning for Sebastian County, but they did continue the tornado warning for Franklin County until 6:45, and the storm is moving east at 30 miles per hour.
Which is great news. Here's Sebastian, clear. A couple of downpours in the extreme northeastern portion. Is that reissuing?
Yes, they also talked about that one. That it's radar indicated. It's not confirmed, but it's located 7 miles northeast of Paris, moving east at 25 miles per hour.
So when Michelle is saying indicated or confirmed, what she means by that is, this is National Weather Service terms. Indicated means that you see rotation on the atmosphere enough that maybe something could happen at any time. Let's issue a tornado warning, and that's what we get And that's what we let you guys know from the National Weather Service. But when Michelle says tornado confirmed or observed, that's when we see that debris ball. That's when we say, hey, there's something on the ground. Or we have a viewer that is seeing it as we speak. So that's when Michelle continues to provide those great updates on indicated or observed. That's what she's talking about. But so when Michelle's talking about, Michelle, you said indicated.
Yes.
Let me talk about what you're talking. What do you mean by that?
Indicated means it's not confirmed that it's touched down on the ground just yet. It means that it has that tight rotation to where that Little Rock or the Tulsa office sees it and says, hey, it could be a tornado any second, but it's not confirmed. It's just, it could be, you can just see it in the velocity that is rotating just a little bit.
And so those are the two rotations that she's talking about. Radar indicated, enough spin for a tornado warning, because these scans are coming in every 4 to 5 minutes. And so in between scans, you can have a quick spin up tornado, and then it could go away between scans you would never even know. So we still have that rotation. Radar indicated there could be a tornado that falls out of the sky at any time in northern Logan County, crossing the Arkansas River into Johnson County right now. Coal Hill, you're good. But we also have that rotation right over Clarksville as well. Do we have an update from Luke in the control room? All right, we're going to pull him up in just a second. He's been headed westbound out of Paris. So he's looking at that storm coming in. He's going into Branch. It's Highway 23 right now. So he's looking towards that storm. Looks messy, but it's still rotating. It kind of has kind of a triangle shape. The bottom a little bit wider than as you go higher up to the top. And so that is your wall cloud right there. Highway 22 headed west. Highway 22. 23 is going south. But 22 headed west to Clarksville. That storm continues to rotate. But we saw the bottom of that cloud. Nothing really there. So as far as it looks right now, no tornado on the ground, but that could change at any time. Remember how quickly we went from a clear base near Pensacola, and then as we were getting towards the south side of Fort Smith, we had the report of a quick touchdown and then another quick touchdown close to the Barling area. Things can happen very quickly with these storms, but the two rotations that we got to be on lookout, northern Logan County. Northwest Arkansas, we're good. Fort Smith, Van Buren, we're good for now. Tornado watch still is in effect for the next 5 hours or so.
People are wondering about Clarksville, if they should get in their safe zones.
Yep, Clarksville needs to be in your safe zone. You are in that tornado warning. I know we're zoomed out, but if you look close, you kind of see your couplet here in northern Logan County crossing the Arkansas River right now near Morrison Bluff. This is also near Hartman, and once you get close to Highway 64, you got the Morrison Bluff as you cross on 109 over the river. That's where we are watching that rotation. It'll be coming into the southwest side of Clarksville, close to the water park first, the aquatic center first, and then close to downtown. We'll have a little bit better idea where it's going to be in Clarksville once it gets closer, but Clarksville, you are under that tornado warning too. You'll probably be getting that rotation. Time right now, 6:20. We have about 10 minutes left. We've been watching this for a while. We've been talking about between about 6:30, 6:35. We'll have that rotation at 6:20 now. 10 minutes left for Clarksville. So you need to be making sure that you're headed right towards that tornado-safe location, most interior room of your house. As many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you have friends or family who are in their vehicle at this time, National Weather Service recommends that if you cannot get out of your car, you hunch down, keep the seat buckle on, but then try to lower the top half of your body so that you're below the window level. And so that'll try to keep you a little bit safer. Cars are not the best place because they can be picked up like that. But if you cannot get out of your vehicle, that's another option to try to keep you as safe as possible in that situation. And Michelle, it looks really messy now.
Yeah, the rotation looks very broad. It doesn't look like it's tight, like it could be maybe a tornado. It just seems like maybe just some high winds right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's the rotation tracker. There's a little bit, but
yeah,
not much. We're getting some rotation. It's not showing up on the tracker as much, but velocity is showing a little bit better crossing the Arkansas River. Clarksville about 10 minutes out. Paris, you also need to still be looking out in your tornado-safe location because we've got this cell coming in. Charleston, you are now in the clear. Clarksville, it's kind of right over us and on the east side of town near Ratcliffe and headed east about Paris. There's a new scan.
People are also asking about Lamar.
Lamar will be included. So you've got Clarksville, Lamar, Knoxville. And so you guys are on the very edge of this tornado warning. I'll show you what we're talking about. The map is going to pop up the name of Lamar outside the polygon. It was so close, it doesn't really matter. What we mean by that is the rotations back here towards Scranton, crossing the river. It'd be close to Clarksville, Lamar, and Knoxville. We're right on the edge of that tornado warning. But anyone here from Clarksville, Lamar to Knoxville, we're about 10 minutes out. Once we get the rotation closer to some of these bottoms here where the Arkansas River gets a little bit wider, we'll have a better indication. Okay, is this going to lift north to Clarksville? Is it going to be more just directly towards Lamar? Is it going to take a right-hand turn to Knoxville? It's hard to tell. This storm keeps kind of changing directions. It was going northeast and then turned east and then southeast, then turned back east and now northeast. And so it keeps kind of moving around a little bit, but we'll continue to watch this. Scranton, we're in that rotation zone at the moment. Back west, Coal Hill, we're good. We're in a tornado warning still, but we're good. A National Weather Service will make these polygons just a little bit big just to account for some of those turns. Most times storms like to go straight ahead or turn a little bit towards the right from their perspective. What does that mean? They most likely try to go northeast or east. And so that's why you see this tornado warning extending into Johnson County kind of at a northeast angle. But Clarksville, Lamar, and Knoxville, we're just about 10 minutes out. Any update from the National Weather Service?
No
Michelle?
update just yet, but both of the warnings go until 6:45.
Okay. Also saw this update. We had a report back from 5:30 now coming to the National Weather Service. Teacup-sized hail.
Which is Apple, basically.
Apple, 3-inch sized
Makes
hail.
it easier.
Whatever you want to use. That was from Franklin County near Charleston. We had that report. Charleston, 3-inch sized hail. That's what Erica Thomas was talking about a little bit earlier, up to 3-inch sized hail from coming in from social media reports. That was about 5:30. So that was about 50 minutes ago. Yeah, just over 50 minutes ago or so. And now we've got a $quarter to $half sized hail in Coxville. So let's go ahead and turn back the radar. Here's the storm. Okay, let's go ahead and pull up Luke. Now he's on the west side of Coxville, where that storm has just passed on through. He was able to just pass right through it because it has weakened so much that it's really not doing as much at the moment in terms of rotation. It's still spinning, still enough for a tornado warning, but as he was right there, no indications of a funnel cloud at this time or anything on the ground. That's good. That can change at any time, but that is good. So he's right along 22. Now we have him turned back around, headed eastbound. Right there. This road has been hit twice now. Coxville has been hit twice by 2 supercell thunderstorms, dropping some hail as well. That hail core, there's two individual hail cores right in towards Clarksville. I'll show you the track. But he's looking at that storm, the west storm. There's 2 storms, one headed to Clarksville first, and then this other storm that's coming back into Paris. So he's headed towards Paris again. They're on 22. There's the sign for Coxville. He's about to come into Coxville itself, and then he'll pass through it and head east to Paris. Let's pull up the hail tracker because that's I think the biggest threat right now. We have rotation. We've got tornado warnings. Like Michelle's been giving us the updates on those tornado warnings, but we have continued to have that hail right now. Let's go ahead and pull up our weather maps, our green screen here. Let me show you where the 2 hail cores are. And they continue to produce about quarter-sized hail, one over Coxville. So Luke is just about 2 or 3 miles away from that hail core. So in the control room, make sure that he doesn't go too fast. The storm's only going about 30 miles per hour, so he can take his time. We don't want him getting hit with hail, but he's probably headed towards that hail core here very soon. And then another hail core coming into Morrison Bluff. Michelle, we got a new tornado warning?
A new tornado warning for Logan County. It goes till 7 o'clock. It's the same system. But they're just saying that thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado near Paris, now moving east at 30 miles per hour.
Look at this. It's even moving directions. Okay, let's reset. I'm going to loop this. Okay. So we have that rotation in hail coming towards, I think, more the south side of Clarksville, more Lamar and Knoxville. That rotation's about here, right over the Arkansas River coming in. This other storm that's looking a little bit stronger, notice how that appendage is starting to strengthen again. Mm-hmm. That's what happens. These things strengthen and they weaken. This storm is now diving back a little bit farther towards the south and east. So I think these 2 storms are finally going to start to try to separate. They've been attached at the hip the whole time. But we're going to watch this storm now dive a little bit farther south and east, closer to Mount Magazine itself. Here's Paris. You need to continue to be in your safe place right now because this hook echo is starting to strengthen once again. I can show you velocity. Let's go ahead and while I get things ready here, I think we've got a video coming in from Bloomer. When we have that ready, let's go ahead and play that of showing some of the rotation. We've got the 2 rotations right now. We're going to get that to you as soon as possible. But we have this spinning motion, still messy, but we still have that hook echo coming out of Clarksville. And here's that next rotation out of Scranton. This was earlier today. This is coming in from Cassie and John Miller. This is from Bloomer, Arkansas. Look there towards the top. You see the winds spiraling those clouds around. Oh, and there you go. There's that funnel. Hard to say if it's making with the ground, but there is that funnel cloud that is trying to reach the ground, right underneath that wall cloud. Very skinny. We'd rather them be skinny. But there was a look. There was a look at that possible, maybe a tornado touchdown, on and off, throughout this evening with that supercell that is now coming into Clarksville. But there's that rotation coming in from Cassie and John Miller. Great video from Bloomer, Arkansas. This may be the rotation that also caused some of those power outages a little bit back farther west. But you see that rotation, very skinny, but still wrapping up there for several moments at a time. So they're from the north side and they're looking south as that thing moves from kind of right to left, but from west to east. I know the backlighting with that, you know, the sun off in the distance kind of makes it hard for the camera to sometimes pick up on it. You see folks park their cars in their sheds just because of that hail threat. Those hail threats have been huge today. And we have damage from that. But there's a reloop. There's that funnel. Hard to tell if it's on the ground because of the tree line there. But that is a supercell thunderstorm that was trying to produce a tornado on the ground. Right now we've got a rotation right over Scranton. It looks like now, Michelle, this is also kind of not moving so far north and east.
Right.
This rotation may bypass us in Clarksville. So Clarksville, be on the lookout. Let's wait for another scan or two. But this may be more Lamar and Knoxville now, coming right over Scranton, just kind of hugging next to the Arkansas River. But this thing will be crossing here very shortly.
And just a quick update, they
Yeah.
did cancel the tornado warning for Franklin County. So there's no more tornado warning for Franklin County.
So earlier they had the warning just because it was crossing into Logan County. So now that's over. You guys in Logan County or in Franklin County, you guys are in the clear now. For now, we've got storms back towards Oklahoma that we'll have to watch here in a moment. But more rotation coming into Paris. And this storm is just chugging along east, sometimes just barely south of due east. And then this next rotation, Scranton, it'll be crossing. It's right there on 197 as you get closer to Lake Dardanelle. Yeah, it looks like Clarksville, you're now in the clear on this one. Clarksville, new scan is coming in here on the latest scan. Clarksville, you're in the clear. It's more Lamar and Knoxville now. This storm heading east, eventually probably crossing I-40 here in the next 10 minutes or so. But Knoxville, Lamar, you really need to be in your safe place, especially Knoxville. Lamar's here, Knoxville's here. So this thing is coming right towards us in the Knoxville area. This is the storm that earlier we just shown you that video coming in from the Millers of that funnel cloud possibly making contact with the ground. But we also have other reports at other stages that this thing has touched the ground.
They actually did have a damage report in Sebastian County of roof damage to a household. So that was back in Sebastian County in part. And then
Sebastian
also
County.
They're also reporting Bloomer has no electricity at this time.
Erica and Darren, do you have any updates on any power outages?
It's up to 2313, and
Okay.
it makes sense that's right there by Bloomer. It's right near Central City. They're still working on that. And it's between Central City and the giant Budweiser can there at Lavaca.
Right there.
But Bloomer also has reported power outages. We also just got a couple of more in the south part of Fort Smith, between the state line and Wheeler Avenue is, or 271 between 112 and right on the state line between Highway 112 in Oklahoma and Highway 271, which is Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Just a few power outages there.
Okay. Most likely from a possible touchdown. Now that storms are starting to clear up a little bit, we still have to look back towards the west. Let's go ahead and do a quick restart. Let me zoom out. Leflore County, we've got a storm coming in for us. Here's Kavanaugh Hill. So we've got storms coming into Poto here shortly. But the strongest storms, we've got 2 circulations, northwestern Logan County, near Paris. Once again, Paris, we've had enough today, but we got even more coming in. We also have hail reports coming in from Bloomer. Bloomer seems to be one of the hot spots. If we're able to show that whenever, you guys bring that up whenever. But we still have that other rotation coming in towards Knoxville right now. Michelle, anything from the National Weather Service?
Nothing new, really. They've just been watching those 2 supercells that you've been talking about. They're producing very large hail, continue to move to the east at 25 miles per hour. So the tornado warnings do continue for both of those right now.
And so you're looking at some of these hail. I mean, someone got the measuring tape out. 2 to 3 inch sized hail with some of these golf ball sized hail, softball size, apple sized hail.
And then 2.5 inches would be a tennis ball size.
Yeah, that's huge. So we've got hail from video from the Toyota Fort Smith. We were talking about that hail coming right towards those dealers. That's the south side of Fort Smith. I think they just built a new Kia dealership down the road too. But hail coming into the dealerships. Of course, with supply chain issues, they don't have as many vehicles in the first place. So you definitely, there's some in the inside, but hail coming in. We've got more hail also coming in at this time.
And they're saying that rotation in Paris, it's producing very large hail. So that they're now saying a confirmed tornado was located over Scranton south, 7 miles south of Clarksville. So it has been observed and it is now a confirmed tornado.
Okay.
For, again, just 7 miles south of Clarksville, moving to the east at 20 miles per hour.
Confirmed tornado. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in. Looks like that rotation's starting to come back up. You gotta be in your safe place coming in to Knoxville area. Paris, we also have that hook there too. 2 rotations. Scranton, where we had that report, tornado has now been observed. Moving east, this thing's moving east at 20 miles per hour. It's now even slower. So we had our times of 6:30, but this thing just keeps slowing down as it gets close to the Arkansas River. But here's that rotation in Scranton. Here's another rotation in the Paris area. Let me go ahead and loop this over the past 15 minutes so you kind of get an idea of where these things are going. So this thing's just chugging along towards the east. Knoxville, you've got to be in your safe place. I think Clarksville, we're going to be okay. Clarksville, you want to just keep tuning to coverage as we watch these rotations towards our south. But Lamar, we're kind of close. Knoxville, I think we're going to take a direct hit with this rotation. And now we have a confirmed report.
And I will say that report was from the Logan County Emergency Manager.
Okay. So someone who's trained in this, emergency managers have to go through the storm training. And so it looks like there's even an uptick there. That last scan, that little brighter pink. So we've got that tornado on the ground. Let's look at the debris tracker. It's hard to tell with hail. Hail sometimes messes with it, but right now it's a bit hard to see. But there's that rotation right over Tocalone. This is north of Prairie View. Here's Scranton, and we're headed right towards the river. Here's the river. Here's kind of Lake Darnell in the river. This will be crossing into Knoxville here in just a few moments. 5 to maybe 8 minutes or so, that rotation will be coming towards you guys. And we have that report of a tornado on the ground with this storm. Another rotation back towards the west. Let me loop it. Past 15 minutes. A little bit messier, but still there. Paris, right over you guys in Paris. I think we're now in the clear in Clarksville. We're clearing Branch. We're clearing Ratcliffe. We're clear anywhere in Franklin County. The tornado warning does not include Franklin County anymore. But from Paris to Subiaco, we've got to be on the lookout for this rotation. Do you know where we have Luke right now in the control room? Okay, I think he's in bad cell
Could you
service.
do a tracker on that Scranton tornado? Because
Yep.
it seems like it's heading towards Knoxville,
Let's go ahead and do that. So here we're zooming in a little bit.
and it's at 20 miles per hour.
20. So let me re-update that. Got 20 miles per hour tornado observed on the ground with this storm coming in from the Logan County Emergency Manager. And here's the white line shows you where the Arkansas River is, Lake Dardanelle. There's a couple cabins there. As you get towards Lake Carbonell, Lake Dardanelle, got a couple lookouts. Let's do that tracker at 20. All right, let's pull that up. There it goes. All right, so Dublin Park, here's Dublin Park, a little bit kind of just south. 637, that's
Right now.
Bend, 647. Notice how the times are slow, right? Knoxville, 652. That now puts us about another 10 minutes because this thing slowed down. This thing was at 40. Now it's dropped in half, but we're still watching that rotation. Still about 10 minutes away from Knoxville. That gives you a little bit more time. You guys are good in Lamar and Clarksville. You guys are all good. Garrett, Arkansas, this is 654 here in just about 15 minutes. 15, 20 minutes for us in Garrett. Knoxville, about 10 to 15. So we're going to continue to watch this circulation. This is the most intense one. On top of that, we have some hail as well. Let me turn off. This is the current hail. The hail's a little bit lower than it was. Thank goodness, because this storm has produced up to 3-inch sized hail. And this is a little bit of light hail, kind of mixing in with some raindrops. Very small hail, possibly coming into Knoxville. Now, Lamar, we're not going to have the rotation, but since we're farther north, hail is also farther north. And so in Lamar, be on lookout for some of that hail. I think we're good in Clarksville. We may not even get some of that hail, other than if you get a couple little pea-sized hail things here and there with some of the heavier rain. But the hail threat's coming into Lamar in the next 10, 15 minutes. Knoxville, a little bit of hail first, but then new tornado warning coming out from National Weather Service.
And all they're saying is that, yes, it is confirmed, it is observed. It's located near Clarksville, moving to the east at 20 miles per hour, and that one now extends to 7:30.
7:30, okay. Let me show you the rotation on this. Yeah, there it is. You see that, Michelle? There's that tight rotation now, beefed up again. Go through these cycles. Spins up, then it weakens. Pretty tight rotation here, northern Logan County. We're headed eastbound. This is going to be coming in near somewhere Knoxville into the south side of Lamar. So I'd say anywhere from Lamar High School is about here on the southwest side of Lamar. So anywhere from Lamar High School south into Knoxville, anywhere you're in that Arkansas rest area there, that's on I-40. But anywhere about downtown Knoxville is where we're going to be on the lookout. So from Lamar High School to downtown Knoxville, rotation coming in. Velocity confirms that too, where you see the rotation right there. There's that rotation. Staying south of Clarksville.
So people do want to see kind of some roads really quick, if you can zoom in just a little bit.
I mean, we're going into rural. We're kind of on the outer banks there of Logan County. So one good way is I got a couple different churches that you guys may know about in northeastern Logan County. You got the Free Will Baptist Church. That's near Dublin Park. There on the western shores of Lake Dardanelle. We also have, so in that area, we've got that rotation. Anywhere Tokalon Road, we will also have that too.
And they are saying a new tornado warning is going to be issued with that storm.
Okay, new tornado warning going coming out. A lot of organization with this one. This one continues to spin pretty good. Spin pretty well. Okay, there it is. I see what you're saying now. Okay, headed up to Highway 23. We've got Luke, our photographer. He's watching the storm on the backside, and we're going to get to that one in a second. But Dublin Park, Free Will Baptist Church, Dublin Park right there in some of the fringes of Lake Dardanelle there on the west side. And then Lake Dardanelle itself, you got some cabins there, but we're just coming up into the Arkansas River. And so we're east of Scranton on this, but this will be crossing in towards Knoxville very shortly. Here's Lake Dardanelle, so we're crossing right now. River, Lake Dardanelle, and then coming into Knoxville, Garrett, and the south side of Lamar. Anywhere from the, let's see, anywhere from downtown Knoxville. So you've got the post office next to the Dollar General there in Knoxville, and then anywhere north to to Lamar High School is where we've got this rotation. Michelle, I'm going to zoom out to take a look at the other rotation we have too. Okay. That one may be wrapping a little bit more as well.
I do want to say that there has been some trees blown down on Highway 109, possibly from that tornado in Logan County.
Trees down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and circle these where the rotation is. There's that rotation east side of Paris. Another rotation.
And they did just update that tornado warning just south of Paris.
Is there any new text in it?
It says radar indicated.
Okay.
The severe thunderstorm is still capable of producing a tornado, not confirmed just yet.
Okay. And I wonder if they're probably going off of, well, they had that report from the Logan County manager. It looks like when we're trying to look at debris, it's super messy. There's not a clear indication of debris. National Weather Service has now dropped it to radar indicated. Not sure if it's honestly on the ground or not. They will only put radar or a tornado observed or confirmed if it is concrete information, but that changes every 5 minutes, right? If it's observed 5 minutes ago, is it still observed 5 minutes later? Well, new update showing that it may not be observed at the moment, but this rotation is coming right into Knoxville. This pocket of lightning indicates roughly where we have that rotation too, and then more rotation east of Paris. Clarksville, we're fine now. This is another look at the storm, just normal radar. Really sharp hook there on the east side of Paris. Hail also falling out of the sky on this one. Take the track off. Looks like the hail is not as bad in our storm that's crossing Lake Dardanelle right now, coming to Knoxville. Knoxville, this thing is coming right in as we speak. Rotation over Knoxville, south side of Lamar. You've got to be in your safe place. Clarksville, you're in the clear. But we have that other pocket of hail east of Paris, kind of close to the Horseshoe Mountain, just on the eastern slopes, and then staying just kind of north of Mount Magazine. But these storms are headed east. Logan County has just been lit up for the past hour or two with these tornado warnings. But hail falling with this one. And so that hail is just to kind of give a higher reference to the airport. The Paris Municipal Airport is right here. So if you live anywhere near the airport, within 2 miles of the airport, we've got hail, quarter inch size hail, quarter sized hail, and let's see, about ping pong sized hail, I think is that blue color. I think they cleaned up the tornado warnings. Michelle, it looks like we just have the east one, because they had that overlapping one. So now we've got two separate tornado warnings, one for northeastern Logan County, Scranton. We have just watched that rotation pass over us. This rotation is right over Knoxville. And that other rotation over Paris.
Yes.
On the east side of Paris, I should say. Right over the airport, or near the airport.
So they have Johnson, Logan, Pope, and also, yes, Logan, all those counties.
Subiaco is about here. So you guys in Subiaco, more spinning in the atmosphere for us here very shortly. Let's do a wide view. Let's talk about what everyone's seeing at the moment. New severe thunderstorm warning now for Leflore County. See this storm now crossing? This is just north of Tallahena. Severe thunderstorm warning for just south of Poto. But we're going to have to watch these storms because we've all started them off as severe thunderstorm warnings. Remember the one that we had possibly touchdowns from Spiro and maybe even south side of Fort Smith towards Barling and Bloomer? That started as a severe thunderstorm warning. They're kind of reissuing this. But hail and wind threats now coming in on the south side of Poto. This is coming in towards Lake Wister and Heavener. We just take a look at hail. We've got a little hail core. Beautiful, beautiful country right here. This is, you're just kind of outside the Talamina Drive. Right here, you've got that hail core, southwestern Leflore County. Here's Lake Worcester. See that blue? So you got Heavener, Lake Worcester, and the town of Worcester itself. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning coming towards us. And then we also have more pockets of hail in those tornado warnings for Logan County and Johnson County. We're still looking at the hail tracker. Subiaco, you're about to get some of that hail too. I'd say if you're in Shoal Creek or Scranton, got another storm coming in at us. We just had one. Now we've got the second one coming in from behind. Let's take a look at the rotation. That's probably right over Knoxville. Yep, coming right into Knoxville. I'll zoom in a little bit more. See where Lamar is, kind of where the road bends. Highway 64 bends right there. Here's the high school. You go north and kind of bend towards Clarksville, and it's a straight shot into Clarksville. But we've got that rotation. Knoxville from downtown to about the high school. And so you've seen these wall clouds. Sometimes they're massive, but then you get one tornado somewhere in there, usually somewhere near the center. But we've had this storm has had a history of multiple tornado touchdowns. Just 10 minutes ago, Michelle was talking about Logan County emergency manager seeing the tornado on the ground, sending that to the National Weather Service. But at this time, it's just radar indicated. There's rotation, but we're not sure if anything is on the ground. But this is coming into Knoxville and Garrett and Lamar.
And that was back at 6:32.
6:32. What time are we at?
6:45.
6:45. Okay. So it has a history. So rotation coming in Knoxville, and then let's look back towards the west. Another rotation now leaving Paris. Paris, I think we are now clearing up. This thing is right over Subiaco and headed eastbound to Shoal Creek. I'll do a tracker on this one too. Sand Ridge, 6:53. Shoal Creek, just after 7 o'clock. It's about 15-20 minutes for us in Shoal Creek. Sand Ridge, though, we're about five minutes away or so. Coming in, and then Bend, Arkansas, right there in the bend of the Arkansas River, south of Lake Dardanelle. We may get this rotation. So I know it looks messy, but we've got some general rotation over Knoxville and Lamar. And we've got some more rotation coming out of Subiaco, right over Subiaco. Looks like a new tornado warning is being issued. This tornado warning will include northeastern Logan County.
Yes, that
And
one
goes towards Pope and
includes
Yell.
Johnson, Logan, Pope, and Yell County. And that one goes until 7:30.
And so this will also include, just outside of our area, will include London. And does it quite include Russellville? Not quite to Dardanelle, Russellville yet. All right, let's go ahead and go back to radar. Yeah, look at that hook. We have the hook, but the radar beam here is a couple thousand feet off the ground. We've got great rotation, 2,000 or 3,000 feet above the ground, but we haven't had as much, a little bit lower. Let me do a new scan though, because that can change. Just a little bit of rotation. Right here on the east side of Paris. Our rotation tracker is now struggling to find some of that decent rotation over Knoxville, but still that tornado warning right over us. The Lamar High School, south into Knoxville, is where we have some general rotation, but it's a lot weaker. A little bit tighter rotation coming out of Paris. Paris, you're now in the clear. Yes, we got a tornado warning. That'll be trimmed here shortly. So Mount Magazine, Horseshoe Mountain, we should be clearing up now. But that rotation continues to head east on 22, coming out of Paris and coming right towards Subiaco. Subiaco, you need to make sure that you're in your safe spot. New scan coming in, got a little bit more rotation there as it advances eastbound. Do you have any updates, Michelle?
No updates, but
Okay.
people are worried about Knoxville. The sirens are not going off, so they're not sure if they should go in their safe zone or not.
You're in your tornado safe. The sirens are not meant to be heard inside. Sirens are only meant to be heard outside, and it's just one of the methods to indicate a tornado warning. We have a tornado warning over southeastern Johnson County. We have talked about Knoxville, you've got to be in your safe place. We have rotation over us at this moment. Earlier, there was a tornado touching down in Scranton. That's just on the other side of the Arkansas River. This rotation's coming right over Knoxville. Please be in your safe spot from Lamar to Knoxville. And we have another rotation back towards the west. This one may stay south of us, but you've got to be making sure that you're headed to your safe spot. It would not just rely on tornado sirens. They're not the only way to get that kind of information. This is why we do this coverage for you guys, to let you know what you can expect. But we've got that hail coming in from Subiaco, headed east, and another rotation near Subiaco, headed east. They're always close to each other. So when I'm showing different maps, just remember hail is usually on the north side of a storm, and then the rotation's on the south side, and they kind of move together. So they would move like this, kind of backwards with the green screen. So they move eastbound together. Hail over northeastern Subiaco, headed east to about Shoal Creek and Sand Ridge. And then the rotation right over 22, headed also towards Shoal Creek and Sand Ridge. But Knoxville, we have that rotation, and we have a little bit of hail. The hail doesn't look like it's as bad as it was earlier. Clarksville, though. Clarksville is now not in the tornado warning. We went ahead and trimmed that. National Weather Service has trimmed that. We are good. Lamar, I'd stay in your safe plot, especially south of the high school. That rotation is right over us in Knoxville. That's going to be crossing eastbound into Pope and Yale counties here very shortly.
They are saying that Johnson County deputy is now reporting a funnel cloud over the water near Highway 359.
Okay, so right over the water, you said Highway
359.
359. There, okay, yeah, so that's on the south side of actually kind of Knoxville. Well, it depends. If you go north to Piney Bay Campground, 359 goes all the way from the river north, and you kind of have where by the water, because you've got kind of multiple water sources here. But it looks like it talks about, or he's talking about the rotation and that funnel cloud now being reported east side of Knoxville. That's why you got to take these seriously, whether a tornado siren is out there or not. We can talk up and discuss about that later. But we've got that rotation still on Knoxville, headed east, about to cross the county line. But we had that funnel reported. They're coming in from Johnson County. More rotation back towards the west. If we can get these two storms out of the way, we're good in the eastern river valley for a little bit. We can take a breather before more storms come in back towards the west. And an update on those storms westbound too. Let's take a look at those. Still severe thunderstorm warning. Southwestern Leflore County, just north of Tallahena. Let me go ahead and zoom in. I'll show you the hail track on that. Most of the hail is still just now crossing into the floor. Here's Tallahena. We've got the beautiful Washitas here as you just start to get into the Washitas. But there's Lake Wister, the blue. Lake Wister, the town of Wister is about here. Heebner's a little bit farther south. Poteau, we're not included, but anywhere south of Kavanaugh Hill, we'll be on the lookout for this hail threat coming in. The velocity right now with this storm, there's a little bit of rotation. Not enough to put a tornado warning out, but we'll continue to watch. This storm's going to eventually be headed towards probably Scott County and maybe even southern Sebastian County. Yeah, can we hear that from you guys? I'm going to reset some weather stuff. You guys go ahead.
Hearing from emergency management in the Charleston area saying that they have roof damage in the 4200 block of West Euclid in Charleston. They are getting reports of a roof off of a barn there, some power lines that are down southeast of Charleston, and trees snapped in the area. But thankfully, no reports of damage on residential structures right now.
That would make sense for the power outages. There are some just north of Charleston and some south of Charleston between Charleston and Branch. And the power total now is up to 2,325 customers affected by this, mainly in the Central City area, some in East Fort Smith, some right there on the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. But as Erica was saying, where that storm damage is reported, that's by the Charleston area. That's where they do have some power outages reported.
Yeah, I mean, again, roofs off barns, trees snapped, but no residential damage right now, which is definitely good news. And then we have gotten some reports as well in the Fort Smith area with all that hail that moved in of obviously some damage to vehicles, dented car roofs, and smashed up windows and those sorts of things.
That's what rotation, possible tornadoes, and 3-inch hail can do. So these are some big time storms. This is video coming in from earlier. This is from Fort Smith. This is at the Toyota dealership. We were talking about the hail coming right into, there's so many dealerships there on the south side as you're headed out of Fort Smith and headed towards the Choctaw Casino. I do have an update though. New radar scan coming in near Subiaco. We have now a bit of a debris ball. So there could be a tornado on the ground with this storm. National Weather Service, I don't think we have anything on this one necessarily yet, Michelle. Just interrupt me if you see anything. But here on the hook, there could be a little bit of debris being lofted in the atmosphere on this storm. Let's go ahead and zoom out, kind of give you a better view of where this storm is. So we're in eastern Logan County. Paris is back towards the west. We are clear in Paris. Tornado warning still out there, but we're clear. Subiaco, we're mainly clear now. This is just on the east side of town. But as we approach Sand Ridge and Shoal Creek, there's a very sharp rotation. You guys see that hook echo there. Now starting to notice a little bit of debris in the atmosphere just east of Subiaco. That could be anything from, like during an area we were just mentioning, some roofs been damaged. That could be shingle activity. That could be some of the new leaves that we finally have just sprouted on our trees. It could be tree limbs, anything that's been knocked down. But we're starting to get a little bit more of debris on this cell as it's coming in. This looks like kind of a classic supercell. We've got this rotation. This one struggled at times, but we've got a great rotation from the storm's perspective. Very healthy rotation there on the east side of Subiaco. So just to kind of give a better idea where this would be, this is very close to Midway, but then we're right in the edge of some of the terrain here as you get kind of closer to some of the northern fringes of the Ouachitas. But Buzzards Rock, there's a good overlook just south of Shoal Creek, about here. But we're in that terrain now that's south of 22. But near 22 and south, east of Subiaco, coming in towards Shoal Creek, we've got that rotation. Let me go ahead and put a tracker on this. This is eastern Logan County, Shoal Creek in the next about 10 minutes. And then Delaware, our last town before we head out of Logan County. Delaware about 7:30. But we do have more debris being picked up in this scan of the radar. And I can show you the rotation itself. Not showing up the best here in a rotation tracker because now we're starting to get deep into some of the terrain here. Beautiful terrain, but east of Subiaco. So when you're headed out of Subiaco and you're headed east towards Lake Dardanelle, on the right-hand side of the road, hillside starts to go up. That's what we're talking about. Those hillsides and the higher terrain there, right on the right, is where you're seeing this rotation at this time, headed towards Shoal Creek. But I think in Knoxville, looks like, Michelle, this thing's just about to cross out of Johnson County.
Yes, it looks like it is. In the rotation, it really looks like it has been very broad.
Yeah, kind of
the past
weakened
few
there a bit.
runs. Yeah.
That's good news. It was that funnel cloud was near the Piney Bay campground area, so we've got a little bit more confirmation there. New tornado warning being issued on this rotation that has now really ramped up. I mean, look at the difference. Look at the cell that did produce a funnel cloud just moments ago. Look how much weaker it is. And then look at this cell. Look how much this thing is wrapped up. And that's where we have some debris in the atmosphere. Still National Weather Service going with radar indicated. Still not quite sure. There's a little bit of debris. I tell you what, little bit in the atmosphere in that radar beam coming out of Fort Smith. We've got a little bit of debris in this cell as it's moving east. Shoal Creek, you've got to be in your safe place. But Subiaco, Paris, did you see that? That just went away. Tornado warning now expired for Subiaco and Paris. You guys are in the clear. It's been a long day for us in Paris and Subiaco, but now we are in the clear. Let's zoom out, do a quick wide view, and then we'll hop right back in. Another little thunderstorm trying to hit us in Altus right now in Franklin County. Northwest Arkansas was still in the clear. Remember, that tornado watch was just River Valley. We've really struggled in Northwest. A lot of it has to do with our clouds right now. I can show you some of those clouds right now. Notice where we've got thick gray clouds. There's some peaks of sun here and there. But a lot of clouds over Northwest are keeping us safe. Look at the River Valley, though. Now we're approaching sunset, eventually, in the next 45 minutes to an hour. We have that clear sky and that sun setting in the west, and so that's able to peek even through some of this clear sky. And so that's helping to warm up the atmosphere still enough for these rotations. And we've got more storms lining up back towards the south and west into southeastern Oklahoma. Now a tornado warning. It's a little bit farther out of our area, but we're going to watch these storms track in. Michelle, you got something?
I do. I'm going to zoom in on it.
Okay, great.
This tornado warning moving through Knoxville, they just have confirmed it. It's moving 10 miles southeast of Clarksville, moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. It has now been confirmed and observed. This tornado warning goes for Johnson, Logan, and Pope until 7:30.
Okay, so they have noticed that it was on the ground.
Yes, now confirmed.
Crossing. It's about to cross right out of Johnson, too. Let's put up the velocity. Thank you for zooming in on that for us. There's a velocity that Michelle's showing us. There it is. Crossing the county line. This is just about to be out of Johnson County. This is why we're talking about, if you didn't hear a tornado siren, this thing has dropped a funnel in Piney Bay, the campground area. It dropped a tornado possibly on the east side of Scranton that was coming in from the Logan County emergency manager. And now we also have it observed as it's heading in eastbound towards into Pope County. And so this is why, regardless of whether you hear the sirens, you've got to take your tornado safe spot. But it does look like in Knoxville is starting to clear out. I think we're now, we're probably going to be okay in Knoxville. In Lamar, we're definitely in the clear. West, Clarksville, we're in the clear. All clear. Lamar, Knoxville. Lamar, Clarksville. Knoxville and east, right over the Piney Bay campground, this thing is crossing out. This thing is just about to be done. So I'd hunker down for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then I think we're also in the clear. But once again, it's that rotation back towards the south. Thank you, Michelle, for doing that.
They're also watching this one for a confirmed tornado.
So this is the one where we saw that debris. I can pull up the debris. It's messy. Hail really messes with some of this stuff. There could be a little bit of debris, because this is right in through the mountains too, just south of Shoal Creek. So you can easily throw up even a couple leaves in the atmosphere, and then the radar thinks, oh, well, that's not a raindrop, that's something, that's debris maybe. And so that's what we're watching. There could be a tornado on the ground in Logan County, south and west of Shoal Creek. Scranton, Subiaco, Paris, even Boonville, we're fine. We are in the clear. But this is extreme eastern Logan County, just outside of Shoal Creek, right in the kind of the fringes of some of the foothills of that terrain there. Anything from the National Weather Service?
Nothing yet, just those 2 tornado warnings they both go until 7:30.
Okay, there's that hook. Now you see that hook on the back side. The storm structure is the heart of the storm, where you see those pinks. That's not where the tornado is. That's where you got the hail and the heavy rain, sometimes gusty winds. It's here on the back side. Storms like to kind of push a little bit of rotation out, try to get some clear air, try to wrap in some of that warm air. And there's that rotation right there, just outside of Shoal Creek. So this is rural. We're talking about very rural Logan County. I mean, notice the difference. You've got several plots of land where you can see kind of cleared, and you see even the squares of plots of lands here from satellite. But then you go south into the terrain, it gets a little bit messy, beautiful, but it gets a little bit messy in terms of trying to head up the way there. But headed east towards New Blaine, Arkansas, and Midway, Arkansas. That's where we're watching this. Shoal Creek, Midway. That's where the storm's coming in right now. It's just chugging along 22. 22 has been kind of a hot spot. So we've got Midway, Shoal Creek, New Blaine, and then Delaware. And then once we get to Delaware, this thing will probably cross into Russellville and then be gone for us. Here's Russellville. You got any friends and family in Russellville? Be on the lookout for this one. This is coming kind of towards us, but here just southwest of Shoal Creek is where we've got this storm. Let's see. I'll show you the hail too. There's a wide view. Let me show you all the hail pockets that are out there in our area. Let me take off. Hail tracks. Okay. Looks like the hail's really picked up too, Michelle. Mm-hmm. On that south. Oh, I moved it too much.
They're saying about quarter size.
Quarter size hail.
Yes.
That sounds about right. Quarter sized hail. Okay, National Weather Service about to issue a tornado warning for Leflore County. That storm is now starting to really rotate. We were talking about the first initial rotations earlier.
And they just issued it.
Okay, there it is. This new tornado warning. Southern Leflore County, you see the hook. Every single storm is producing a hook. I tell you what, there's so much in the rotation in the atmosphere today. Very powerful supercell now coming into Leflore County. This is north of Tallahena along 271. So it's from Leflore, the township of Leflore. This thing is headed eventually towards Hebner and Howe. But a radar indicated tornado warning, lots of rotation in this storm. Headed east. Let's talk about that thing is moving 30, so it's moving a little bit faster. Let me update our scan. Let me input the 30. We'll talk about who's next in Leflore County, and then we'll hop back east to Logan County. This storm is going to probably stay south of Poto. You guys in Poto should be fine. But Reacher, Oklahoma, 7:36 here in about 30 minutes. Huebner, 7:53. Tornado warning for southwestern Leflore County. Does not include Tallahena. This storm is just north of Tallahena. Let's see. I wonder if we can. Michelle, I'm going to pull up the Pecola ICAM, and we're going to move that. So right now you see Pecola. I'm going to move this back towards the west. Let's see. Any updates from Luke's guys in the control room? It's all good. I think he's got some spotty coverage right now. But you're looking live in Pecola. Moving the camera now. There it goes. Okay. We're going to point this storm towards south central Leflore. So we've got to look past Kavanaugh Hill. Beautiful sunset. Okay. We're talking with our chief photographer there for a moment. He doesn't really have anything clear at the moment. But this camera is a little bit too far away, and you can kind of see the pole there. But if in the distance you have Kavanaugh, and it's another 10, 15 miles south and west of Kavanaugh, so we're a little bit far out. So we'll head back to our radar scenes now. Michelle, anything with the National Weather Service?
So far, they have been quiet.
Okay. Let's see. Wide view, tornado watch, still out there. Every storm seems like it's got to spin up something south of the mountains. North of the mountains, we really haven't had a problem today, but we still are watching that tornado warning cell in eastern Logan County. This is near New Blaine in Delaware. Once you head past Midway, just keep chugging along 22. The storm in Knoxville is now over. You're still getting rain, but the rotation's not out of here. You don't have to worry about the tornado warning. It's moved out of our area. It's headed into Pope County. But right now, we still have that rotation there on the southwest side. Thank you for moving that. Shoal Creek. And headed eastbound along 22 into Delaware. You see that rotation. It looks a little bit messier at this angle. Let's go ahead and I'm going to put our rotation tracker on. Still there, though. Notice where it's hugging. It's hugging right on the foothills of the terrain here in southeastern Logan County. It's just beautiful driving along 22 outside of Subiaco and Shoal Creek and Midway. And you look off towards the right if you're headed, or to the right if you're looking east, or if you're headed east. But we have that rotation now. Here's Lake Dardanelle, Knoxville. This is going to be south of us. We already had the tornado that touched down briefly in Scranton, and then we had a funnel cloud over the Piney Bay campground. You see the appendages of the water here. Piney Bay campground's about here. And then eventually it touched down again, just crossing, our best guess, just crossing Johnson County and into Pope County. But this tornado warning is issued for eastern Logan County for this rotation, just south of Shoal Creek. Paris, Subiaco, you guys are in the clear. Boonville, we're also in the clear. We're going to continue to watch this as it continues to just chug along towards the east. The latest on the timings with this storm, roughly as it heads towards Russellville 752. So we still got some time. This thing has really slowed down. To be honest, in the upper levels of the atmosphere, there's not a lot of gusty winds to kind of push these things along very quickly. I mean, sometimes these storms can move 50 plus miles per hour, but this one's only moving at 20. This thing's slow. This thing's taking its time, and it just sits and rotates over eastern Logan County.
And I will say it's moving into very favorable environment for it to continue to stay a tornado. And that's why a lot of these tornadoes are not just dying out. They're kind of pulsing up and pulsing down. And so looking at the environment for this tornado, it looks like it could potentially stay on the ground, or if it is a tornado, stay on the ground for quite a while.
I want to show you, kind of to reinforce what Michelle's saying. She's talking about ingredients. Let's show you the temperatures really quick. So tornado warning Leflore, tornado warning eastern Logan. Look at these temperatures though, and the winds. So we've got temperatures in the 60s and 70s. We're a little bit cooler in Fort Smith because we've had some clouds and rain, and we had that thunderstorm earlier. But Poto, we're untouched. We're at 75. We're in the low 70s. In Sallisaw, Clarksville, we've got rain in around the area, so we're down in the 60s right now. But we still have some of those southerly winds Notice how they start to creep up into parts of kind of near eastern Logan County. Just the wind's kind of a little messy, but we've got some southerly winds slowly trying to come up. That'll help produce that rotation. Notice in northwest Arkansas, we're cold. We're in the 50s. It's 57 right now in Springdale. Same in Bentonville and Rogers. It's cool. You can't produce thunderstorms in that environment. This cool air settles to about the mountains. You've got to be on the other side of the mountains for the storms tonight. I don't think we really have to worry northwest. Could there be a shower? Yeah, but I think the severe threat's going to be south of the mountains. We've got that tornado warning for Leflore and tornado warning for eastern Logan. Here's a wide view. It's all thanks to this cold front that continues to press eastbound. We're just watching all these storms fire up from southeast Oklahoma, right here into Arkansas, and headed east towards our friends and neighbors in Tennessee and Kentucky and parts of Missouri as well.
I do have some good news. They just canceled the tornado warning for Johnson, Logan, and Pope County.
That's fantastic. So we just have one rotation left. Let me zoom in, back towards the east.
So now we just have that one.
Just one. We just got to clear this one out, and then it's Leflore County we've got to watch. So here's that rotation, just chugging along. Shoal Creek, Midway, Blaine, Delaware, we're next. You got to make sure you're in your safe spot. But Morrison Bluff and Knoxville, Clarksville, Lamar, we're good. You're in the all clear. You may get wet if you step outside, but we're all clear in terms of that rotation. I'll show you the velocity. It looks a little bit messier too. Oh, well, this is coming from the Little Rock. I think I moved it a little bit over too much, Michelle. There we go. Messy, huh?
Yeah. Very broad.
Still there, but yeah, very broad. I can show you just the rotation tracker itself. A little bit of spike there, but once again, we're just south of Shoal Creek. We're in this area of Shoal Creek, marching eastbound along 22 towards Delaware. This is going to stay well south of Scranton, well south of Knoxville and Lamar and Clarksville. We don't have to worry. But this thing is going to be headed towards Russellville eventually. We'll be crossing the river here in about 15, 20 minutes.
And that warning expires in 16 minutes, just so you know.
Okay, 16 minutes of this storm.
So 7:30.
So at 7:30, National Weather Service, get closer to that, they'll figure out if they want to reissue this warning for extreme eastern Logan County as eventually heads to Pope County and head towards Russellville and Dardanelle. Lake Dardanelle's here, so this is going to be south of Lake Dardanelle. Let's go ahead and zoom out, and we'll do that rotation tracker in the floor. All right, coming into Leflore County, this does not include Poteau. It includes Lake Worcester. The town of Worcester is on the northeast side of the lake. We're kind of right on the edge, but if you are in south central Leflore County, you need to be making sure that you're in your tornado safe spot. There's that rotation, about to cross 271. This is south of the township of Leflore, north of Tallahena. Here's 271, crossing. A very rural area, beautiful area though, coming in here. But otherwise, rotation's going to stay south of Poteau. Poteau, we're good. But Heavener, we got to be on lookout, and Worcester too. Heavener's not quite in the warning just yet, but that could easily change. I'll give you the latest on the timings of this. Reacher coming in just before 7:40. Concert 7:47. Heavener getting close to 8 o'clock. So Heavener still has about a 45-minute wait before we get the storms for us. Zoom back out. Northwest Arkansas, we're clear. But we've got the couple tracks coming in towards Heavener.
They did just update that tornado warning, just
Okay.
saying it's going till 7:30. It's still radar indicated, so not confirmed just yet.
Okay. So here's what we're talking about. Radar indicated means it's spinning, but we don't see anything quite on the ground. We don't have a report coming in from a storm spotter or emergency managers yet. But this thing is rotating, just like every storm out there has been just spinning, sitting there and rotating on Highway 22. Highway 22 has been very popular today with the weather, but this thing is near New Blaine. Midway, I think we're now clearing up. Midway is about here. This thing, here's the rotation, and it's headed eastbound. So anyone west is okay, but Shoal Creek will be wrapping up this rotation for us. But Delaware, you guys are next. Delaware is about here in eastern Logan County, just off of 22, right through 22. And 22 eventually rides up into Dardanelle. And then you cross the river and head into Russellville and Arkansas Tech. Let's see. But this rotation looks like it's close to, there's a couple different places folks may know in eastern Logan County. The Dinner Bucket, you've got the New Blaine General Store, New Liberty Church. We've got rotation near you guys, and eventually headed towards the First Baptist Church just outside of Delaware, and then the Delaware Ice Cream and Deli Shop there on the west side of town. You guys will be on the lookout for this rotation next. Hail, let's take a look at hail too. Can't get a break with hail.
They did update the Leflore County one, still saying it's radar indicated.
Okay.
But it did slow down just a little bit to 25 miles per hour moving to the east.
Michelle, these are in no rush. Taking their time.
Yeah. And it's pretty well organized.
Okay.
So the tornado potential does continue with that cell.
Okay. So south of Podo, Worcester, Heavener, you guys are next. This thing is a little bit farther west. They're getting kind of close to the Talamina Drive, but just north of Talahena is where we have that rotation in south central Leflore County, but it is moving east, like Michelle said, 25 miles per hour, so probably another 30 minutes or so for Heavener. This will stay south of Podo, though, and probably stay north of Fanshawe. But hail continues to fall with this storm in eastern Logan County, too. We've had hail all day long, and it continues to hit the eastern side of the county. New scan coming in, still hail about quarter-sized inch, it looks like. Roughly guessing, just outside of Delaware. You see the road there, a couple of these roads. You've got Spring Lake Road and Little Bigger Drive and Brock Creek, and Spring Lake Road is where we have some of the hail right now reporting. And then that rotation is right over Little Bigger Drive and Brock Creek Road. This is headed east, so this is just off of 22, but close, very, very close.
So people are asking, is that Leflore County tornado moving towards Podo at all?
It's not moving towards Podo. Podo, you're in the clear for now. This should stay well south of Kavanaugh Hill. You know, once you head south of the county fairgrounds and you can just continue to head, you finally cross the railroad tracks and you get into Worcester. That's when the tornado threat starts to go back up. But this thing's still about 45 minutes out, so this thing can maybe move a little bit. It can try to change direction over time. But really from Heavener, Lake Worcester, a little bit farther south is where we're talking about this storm. So this is south central Leflore County. Bacola, Podo, Spiro, Panama, Shady Point, even at Bacoshi. I think we're good. I'll show you that storm in just a second. This rotation though that we're watching, the rotation in Leflore County is in such a rural area at the moment that I'm watching this one because we still have a little bit higher of population density. It's still low. We're in both rotations that we have on the radar right now are in low population areas, very rural areas, very beautiful areas though. I tell you what. But this one is a little bit more populated coming into Delaware right now. So we want to show this storm just outside Delaware. Here we are, here's 22. That ice cream and deli shop that's just outside of Delaware is about here. But there's that rotation coming eastbound right now. Let's see. And hail continues to fall. Here's just looking at the shear itself, the rotation, crossing Spring Lake Road here very shortly. There's Lake Dardanelle's up towards the north, so this is just south of Lake Dardanelle and headed eventually towards the city of Dardanelle. Here's 22. But here's the city of Delaware. We're next. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, it'll be coming in for us here very shortly. Let's see. I'll do a wide view. Kind of see the pattern here. We do a wide view, let everyone know what we're all seeing in general, because you could be living in Fayetteville and think, well, am I going to get anything? Chances are pretty low. What about Booneville? We're in the river valley. We're in the heart of the river valley, but we're not getting very much. Well, we may have to wait a little bit longer to see if Booneville gets some of these storms coming in. Michelle, what are you kind of seeing with some of these cells?
Yeah, so we're going to look out for the Leflore County cell down here. You can see that hook echo. I'm going to go ahead and put velocity on that one so you can kind of just see where it's headed. The velocity is, like Matt has been saying, it's very broad. The radar is in Fort Smith, so it is just, the rotation is going to be very broad, just is so far away from the tornado radar. You good?
Oh, good. I get caught by the trigger.
So yes, that one, the Leflore County, that one goes until, let's see, I think it was 7:45. And it still has a pretty big updraft on it. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the Little Rock. And apparently they're saying social media has a funnel cloud with that tornado warned in Leflore County. So if you are in Leflore County, make sure you are in your safe zone, safe shelter, somewhere that's the inner part of your home.
Yeah, it looks like it's crossing 271, which becomes 270. Eventually, just east of Fanshawe. But yeah, there's that rotation, a little bit of lightning too. As we watch that storm. So there's the rotation, eastern or western Leflore County, headed east into south central Leflore County. Here's Heavener, Worcester. Lake Worcester is about here, and so we're going to be on lookout near the Lake Worcester area for this rotation as it moves eastbound. Let's see. I'll go ahead and. Michelle, did it work? It didn't work. Okay, I'll look at it again. Let's see. Okay, so once again, 2 tornado warnings. Let's head back to Logan County. Michelle, it looks like that rotation gets just nearer and closer to Delaware. There's that hook, and it looks like that rotation about in here, headed to Delaware.
Yeah, and there are some reports in the National Weather Service chat saying that maybe there has been a brief touchdown with that tornado. It's been a wall cloud. Emergency management thinks that maybe it has touched down. So again, we don't know for sure or if it has been confirmed just yet, but we are keeping an eye on for this storm. What Matt just circled, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the circle and kind of just zoom out really quick. Okay, so you can just see that hook echo like he was saying. This is for Delaware. It was moving at 20. I'll take that off real quick. Could be, okay, it's being wonky. Let's not show that then. Okay, we'll do this one. So Delaware, 7:35, Sills, 7:37, so it's now 7:24. So that would be at 11 minutes or so. And we're going to zoom out just a little bit to give you a better idea kind of where this storm is headed. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the Leflore County one. I know a lot of people have been asking on social media about that one. So yeah, you can really see that well-defined hook echo. It's kind of book definition of that which it should look like. Leflore County, this is for you. I'm gonna go ahead and put a tracker on this one as well. Okay. Conser, 752, 744, 745. Glendale, anywhere in Leflore County, I would go in your safe zone with this. Go ahead and look at the Storm Prediction Center and see if they have any information on this. I'm going to switch to velocity. I feel like you get a better idea of rotation on that one. Clear it off. So again, it looks like the rotation's just pretty broad. It might just be the radar is far away from this one. But I have seen reports on the National Weather Service chat that there has been reports of maybe a brief touchdown, some wall clouds with this system. But you can really see that hook echo, and like what Matt was saying, that also indicates some pretty large hail with it. Let me see if I can put the hail on there. Okay, let's do a query. So that tornado warning goes until 7:45. The hail was as big, I'm looking at it real quick, as big as ping pong size hail or even golf ball size hail. So Heavener, this is heading towards you. And you can just see it kind of just popped up just a little bit more, that dark blue. Let's see if I zoom out a little quick. So right now, again, we only have 2 tornado warnings right now. One is in Logan County. This one goes until about 7:30, so 4 more minutes for that one, and it actually pushes out of the River Valley. Leflore County, this one goes until about, switch over. This one goes until 7:45, so about 19 more minutes of this, but I do believe that it could be extended to include parts of Scott County, so Waldron maybe get in your safe zone because this is moving at 7:35. I'm gonna go over here. They did just issue a new tornado warning right now for Conway, Johnson, Logan, Pope, and Yale County. This one goes until 8:15. This one's not confirmed just yet, but it is a radar indicated system.
Looks like they both got some good hail on them, Michelle. Looks like they've trimmed that tornado warning too on the floor. See that?
Yeah. I was trying to read what that Storm Prediction Center is saying. So that one is still radar indicated. It's not confirmed just yet, but if there is a tornado, it is located 3 miles northeast of the state park, moving east at 30 miles per hour.
We'll go ahead and, Michelle, I'm going to turn on that rotation tracker as we're watching the floor. So let me zoom out real quick, and then I'll zoom back in. Here's Poteau. Kavanaugh Hill's kind of being covered here by the banner here. Here's Kavanaugh Hill. This is well away from Kavanaugh. This is well away from Poteau. This is well south of the Leflore County Fairgrounds. Once you head farther south by 10 minutes or so, you're just cruising there on 271 South, coming into Worcester. The city of Worcester is not under this tornado warning. Lake Worcester is, that's this blue color, but to be honest, I think this rotation is probably going to stay a little bit farther south. This is going to have a bigger impact on Heavener. But right now, we're deep in these hills of Leflore County, the Talamina Drive area, but this is east of Tallahena as this rotation tracks eastbound. But Leflore County, this is outside of Poteau. Most of the population centers of Leflore County, a little bit farther north from Poteau, north into Bacola and Shady Point and Panama. But this is Heavener. Heavener, you guys would be next on this storm. Let's go ahead and turn on that radar. There's that sharp hook echo. Michelle, most of these storms have had such classic hooks, and what you're seeing is the storm brings in fuel and then just wraps it in, and if it wraps it in tight enough, that's where you produce your tornado. But hail has been formed on this too. The hail is where that pink color is, and then you've got the rotation here on the southwest corner of the storm, and then lots of heavy rain out ahead of it. Heavy rain even now coming into Heavener. So you're thinking Heavener is about here, but we just have rain coming in first, and then once the heavy rain is done, it's going to calm down for a second, but then you may get a wall cloud over you. And that's where you got to be on the lookout to see if anything's going to come out of the sky in terms of a tornado. But looks like we got the tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning in place as this storm continues to hit Leflore County. Michelle, I think we're going to be close to being done for Delaware soon, but look at that rotation right there, right over Delaware, the town of Delaware. Velocity indicating, especially on the south side of Delaware, is where we have this rotation. It's just about to head out of Logan County. We're just about done with this storm. Delaware, wait another 5 minutes or so in your tornado safe spot, and then this thing is out. This thing moves into Pope County, and then we're good. But this in Delaware is getting close to even Sulphur Springs. Sulphur Springs is just kind of on the other side of some of these hills. So anywhere between Delaware and Sulphur Springs is where we're watching this rotation. This one has a history of also producing funnel clouds, and we had some debris in the atmosphere earlier today. Hail continues to be a problem for us. We got a new hail scan, hail coming into Delaware itself and just about to head out. But we also have that hail in Leflore County, and that's what Michelle was showing you guys earlier. Good pocket of hail too. Right now what I have on is I have the current scan of hail, and I have the past 5 or 6 scans of hail, and so you can see the evolution. So the last timestamp, it's like a stamp, boom, right here, latest on the hail. Looks like the hail is upticking a little bit as the storm just looks really healthy coming into Heavener. Heavener, if you have time, if you have some open space in your garage, I'd go ahead and put the truck in the garage, put it underneath the shed. You have a little bit of time, you're not in the tornado warning yet, but eventually this cell is going to be headed right towards you guys. And these things are moving very slow. They're moving at 25 miles per hour. You know, it gives you a little time, but you don't want to take too much time. Eventually, you've got to get to your tornado safe place. But Huebner, no warning yet, but eventually, I'll tell you what, 90% chance, probably 90% sure that this is going to be extended into Huebner. Staying south of Worcester, staying south of Lake Worcester. Worcester, we're in that tornado warning, but I think the rotation's probably going to stay farther south. And there's the rotation. It's a little bit hard to see on the rotation tracker. Let me do. Here's another way to look at it. Here's the velocity, storm relative velocity. That's just showing you the wind spiraling around with this storm. Good pocket of lightning too, where we've got some hail as well. But this rotation headed east, moving about 25 miles per hour. And so the latest on the scans with that would roughly be about Reacher 746 here in the next 14 minutes. 8 o'clock for Hodgen, Huebner 8:04. So from Huebner south to Hodgen, that's where we got to look out for this storm coming in towards the east. Leflore County, this is south of Worcester, this is south of Poteau, south of Fanshawe too. Also, just to kind of recap, Michelle, you were posting some good information earlier today on those storm threats. Notice where we have the highest storm threat today, and also where we've had the tornadoes and the hail, gusty winds, all that. This level 3 severe threat continues for this evening. That includes most of the river valley. West of Sallisaw, we start to kind of reduce our chances as we get really close to the cold front. But we already have some of the cooler air coming into northwest Arkansas. So our severe chances have gotten really low. But we're going to continue the isolated tornado chance for the heart of the river valley. We haven't had much from Boonville to Waldron, other than a couple downpours here and there. But that tornado watch continues to 11 o'clock. That yellow color showing you that tornado watch until 11. So I think we got more pictures and video. Actually, I think one from Lavaca. I believe it's the windshield was crashed. Whenever we get that, let's go ahead and put that up, and then we'll go right back to, look at that. You see how large those hailstones are? Those are massive chunks of ice coming down and hitting Lavaca.
I do remember them
completely
saying that
unreplaced.
it was about baseball size hail.
Jeez. Big hail, big damage from that hail. And then also the hailstone's probably coming through some of the trees, knocking off the leaves there a little bit. But yeah, that's going to have to be completely replaced. But that is large hail. And I tell you what, that's the kind of hail that could be life-threatening if you're out and about in some of this hail too. You want to make sure that you take shelter in these storms. Whether you have a rotation headed towards you or not, that hail is coming down at a very fast pace, sometimes over 100 miles per hour coming out of the sky, coming right towards you. And, you know, that's faster than, you know, MLB throwing a fastball right at you. 100 miles per hour over, right? So very, very large hail, chunks of ice coming down from the sky. So that's why we take the hail threats very seriously. But if you have time in Huebner, you still have a moment before you can go ahead and park your vehicle inside, give you maybe a fighting chance for your car. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom back in on the radar. I'll go ahead and show Logan County. We are just about done. This may be the final scan or two. Rotation over us in Delaware. We've been watching it all the way from Paris and Subiaco, now crossing Logan County. This thing's out of here. This thing's coming into Dardanelle, the city of Dardanelle, and Russellville. Arkansas Tech, that's where we have Russellville. We're on the lookout for this tornado warned storm. It looks like the appendage is kind of weakening a little bit, at least from this side of the radar. Let's take off the rain and we'll just put in the winds of the velocity. We still have it here, but this thing is crossing the county line. We're just about done. Delaware, maybe wait 2 or 3 more minutes, and then I think we're good. We're good in New Blaine. We're good in Shoal Creek. We're good back west towards Paris, and we've been good for a while in Paris, but things are wrapping up for us. This little couplet, this rotation, is pushing out of our area, headed towards central Arkansas. Our sister station, THV 11 in Little Rock, will continue to pick this up for you guys. But otherwise, this storm is headed out of our area. We're mostly good now for Logan County. But in Delaware, I would wait another 2 or 3 minutes, and then I think we're going to be good. But it is crossing the county line out of Logan County. So the biggest storm that we have now is Leflore County. Right coming in here, you got that hook. I can look at the debris. You really see anything, Michelle? I'm not really.
It's messy.
It is messy, isn't it? Now, some of that green, that bright green, it's not really debris, it's more some of the hail that's been falling out of the storm. I can show you that hail too. Hail continues to fall. I'll take off the previous hail tracks, but we'll just show the current one. Hail falling just south of Lake Worcester. Here's Worcester, but on the southern shores, and go 2 minutes south as the crow flies. A mile south as the crow flies, that's where we're watching this hail pocket. This is going to be coming towards Heavener, and maybe even close to Howe, but I think it's more Heavener down to Hodgen is where we'll be watching this hail pocket and this rotation as well.
And that warning goes until about 7:45, so about 10 more minutes, 8 more minutes.
7:45. Yep, about 10. Can zoom in a little bit closer. There's a couple of these roads here in southern Leflore County in between some of the ridges. Love driving through this, especially through in the fall. But right down here, Holston Valley Road, I mean, just going right through, because there's a river down here. So I'm looking at the wrong screen. There's a river that's just holding here, a little creek. And we have some of the clearing, a couple pastures down here in between the hillsides. That's where we have this rotation, just crossing Holston Valley Road and headed east. I'll go ahead and put another tracker on this too. Hodgen 808 for 30 minutes from now. Heavener 812, a little over 30 minutes or so, as we're going to be watching this rotation and this hail core start to come in from the south and west. I know we're getting dark here quick. I was going to pull up our camera. That's a live look outside in Fort Smith. We're getting dark now, but this is a live look in Pensacola, and you're looking towards Kavanaugh Hill. The storm's a little bit farther south, so it's hard to see, way off there in the distance, but this thing is going to stay south of Kavanaugh. So, and from Pensacola, we're well north of Kavanaugh, so we're really safe from this one. But here's Podo. Well south of Podo is where we have that tornado-warned cell. We're going to be good in Podo. We're going to be good in Becoshie and Spiro, Panama, Shady Point, and Pensacola, Cameron, Monroe, Sugarloaf to Kavanaugh. We're okay. We're going to be okay on this one. It's a little bit farther south, deeper in Leflore County. Let's see. Anything from the National Weather Service?
No, they have been quiet
Okay.
so far.
I mean, we're in rural Leflore County right now. This is a wide view. You've got the cold front coming in. That's helping to spark all these storms. New tornado warning now just really for Pope County. So we're in the clear now. Delaware, you guys are in the all clear. All of Logan County, you're in the clear. Johnson County, we're in the clear. We've got a quick storm passing by right now. That's closer, just kind of northwest of Clarksville. We may get some of it in Clarksville, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. There could be some small hail towards Woodland and Hunt, maybe even north to Batson and Oark, but this cell is going to move out towards the east. We'll watch it, but a little bit of a cell motion through Johnson County. The one tornado warning that we have in our area is Leflore. Podo's here. We've got Pensacola. So we're all north of this, but a lot of us towards Heavener and Worcester and Hodgen, that's where we have this tornado-warned cell just passing off towards our south right now. Oh, by the way, we're going to interrupt programming for our 7-day forecast real quick. We're not done with storms after this. We've got more storms the next couple of days. I know we didn't get to have our newscast, but we have our website that has the full article on when you can expect storms the next couple of days. But real quick, before we jump right back into that tornado warning, here are the next several days look like. Tomorrow, I think we'll be back into the mid to upper 70s in northwest Arkansas. Tomorrow's interesting. We could get a stray shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, but I think the final wave of storms is going to be coming in super late Tuesday night. So really, since it's probably going to be after midnight, it'll be early Wednesday morning, another late night, early morning round of storms. This will be that final wave as that cold front finally just pushes on through, because the cold front we have right now is kind of stopping for a second. It may back off a little bit for a day or two and then push right through early Wednesday morning. We've got another weather alert for Wednesday morning. It will be cooler the rest of the day as that storm system comes through. We're going to be a lot drier for Thursday and I think Friday, but then towards the weekend, of course, we've got Good Friday. And we've got Easter coming up, right? And so we've got more chances for another system coming in this week. So we're not quite sure how active this is going to be. We really need to clear out of this storm first to get a better view. When you're kind of in the fog of a storm, it's hard to see when the next storm's going to be. But we've got chances for that. Let me go ahead and talk to the River Valley. Real quick, though, I'll talk about the River Valley second. Darren.
Yeah, just real quick. There's 3,700, well, more than 3,700 people now, customers, at least with OG&E, that don't have power. A majority, again, near Central City. There are a few patches in East Fort Smith between, between Mazard and Barling. There's a patch of people that don't have power there. West Fort Smith between Highway 112 and Oklahoma and on the state line. But again, a majority of those who are without power right now are in eastern Sebastian County, near Central City, near Bloomer, and just a few more people. I haven't seen anything out of Charleston just yet. I'm going to take that back. There's a few people in Charleston that are without power. In Charleston and also just south of Highway 22, there are people without power. All tolls right now, 3,765 people, and it's because of the straight line winds. It's because of funnel clouds that have hit the ground, and we've been seeing a lot of these pictures that have come in. We're getting tons of pictures of the hail, Erica, that have come in.
Yeah.
Some of these things are as big as people's hands.
Right. You can see this one looks like it's pushing 3 inches. We've seen ones that are even bigger than that. We do have another quick update. The city of Charleston actually sharing on Facebook a post about the tornado sirens in the city are apparently not working. So they're asking people, obviously, stay weather aware as this warning continues until 11 o'clock tonight, that the police chief is out there and others are out there trying to make sure that people are aware and being weather aware throughout these storms. But as Matt said, obviously, tornado sirens should not be the only method you rely on for getting storm information. But in the city of Charleston, the tornado sirens are not working right now.
And there's also some people without power between Artist Point and the tunnel, which is kind of interesting, up there by just north of Lake Fort Smith. So if there was a storm that came up in through there, they've knocked out a few people in that area. But again, the biggest part of those who don't have power, it's between Charleston and Branch, and in the Bloomer area, also in Central City right now, guys.
Those hailstones, I was just kind of mesmerized by some of those hailstones that you guys have been talking
Now,
about.
describe this. This is one of those where it just rotates up in the clouds forever.
Yep, and another a raindrop hits it, instantly freezes, but they come in at different angles because it's kind of like in a washing machine up there. So you just have other raindrops that hit it at random spots, and then they freeze, and then you just have a cluster. And that thing is sharp on some edges, but big hailstones continue to fall throughout the River Valley. This evening. That's one of our big threats tonight, and we're going to continue to watch that. We've watched several pockets of hail from Leflore all the way east, march all the way from Leflore eastbound to Logan County. In the River Valley, though, real quick, we've got maybe a stray storm tomorrow, but I think we'll get that line early Wednesday morning, clearing out for a couple days, and then more severe weather. Maybe not severe weather. We could get a few rumbles of thunder, maybe even some early morning showers coming into Easter Sunday morning. Let's go ahead and get back to the radar, though. Yeah, Michelle.
They did expire that tornado warning in Leflore County.
Okay, so
we have no more tornado warnings for our area.
All right, so let's go ahead. Darren and Erica, do you want to wrap this up really quick? We'll go ahead and get it off of our on-air coverage now. We're going to go ahead and continue for a couple moments on our social platform. So if you want more information on that severe thunderstorm warning in Leflore County, stick with us. But we're going to wrap coverage up here on Channel 5.
All right, yeah, as Matt said, they'll continue over on our social media platforms. We have been we've had crews out pretty much, Erica, all over the place, getting video of not only the hail but its damage as well. And as best we can, we are going to try to get all of this video you can see here and a recap for your 5 News at 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, we have crews out there live. You can see this video coming into us this afternoon. This is kind of a look back at everything we've shown you over the last 3 or 4 hours here. We have crews in Lavaca and Charleston right now, just working to look at the damage that we've gotten reports in about, and we'll have those images for you coming up tonight at 10, and as well, of course, on our website at 5newsonline.com.
And the most damage we've heard so far, a little bit of roof damage in some areas. We've not heard of any kind of major structural damage as we saw in Springdale and in Johnson and in Fayetteville a couple of weeks ago. Again, a lot of this is out in the rural part of Sebastian County and Franklin County and Logan County, and in this case, Leflore County. And so thankfully, if there's one silver lining with this, it's that. But there is still a little bit of damage, and we're trying to find that now, and we'll bring that to you tonight on your 5 News at 10.
Hope you stay with us. The CMT Award coverage is coming up next, and stay with Matt on social for more coverage this evening.